Fair enough.
Yeah. I discovered... You ever played Nightmare Creatures?
No, I'm not even sure I've even heard of it.
It's just another Dreamcast game. I guess it had a PlayStation 1 port and stuff like that. But like, so here it says it can use the VGA box, but it won't use my VGA cable for some reason. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Hmm.
So that's fun.
That is weird. I don't see you live, by the way.
That would be because did I set the private? What did I set it to?
Or did you hit go live in the upper right-hand corner or whatever?
I did. Now, I'm wondering if I set it from private to public, though. God damn. Hang on here.
Stream's off to a great start, though.
Oh, it is. This is going great. Oh, yeah. Set to private. Let me go ahead and change that to public. I'm also glad I'm not doing the Quake thing, because I sliced my thumb open today and have a Band-Aid.
Ooh.
And when I use a trackball, it's really hard to get that nice traction. So did did it jump over after I changed it from private to...
it's live now.
Okay, there we go.
I don't
All
know
right.
if the notification came through or not. But I haven't seen
we'll find out. It probably won't, now that I've messed it up in terms of having to change it from private to public, because, you know, what stream is not correct without, you know, technical difficulties.
Are you drinking? Are you drinking wine?
Oh, yeah.
That
yeah.
sounded like a lot of...
Is it a big old bong rip or something like that?
No, it just sounded like a lot of liquid. I'm like, oh, Jesus, I hope that it's just, wine or something.
Hey, Jeremy, how you doing, man?
And not like, oh, I'm just pouring bourbon, a pint of bourbon.
Oh, that would get me done.
Hey, Jeremy. Yeah, I wonder if it's going to even send out notifications, because you didn't stop the stream, you just switched it, right?
Yeah, change it. I have no idea what's going to happen. We'll find out. Maybe we can keep this a low-key, nobody knows to watch it stream.
I mean, is that cool? Hey, Colin, how's it going?
Oh no, my chat's back to being really slow. But Colin, how you doing, man? Yeah, so I'm down to about 4 minutes left on the video, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Nice.
That's gonna take me like several hours just to do 4 minutes, just because, yeah. Here with you, bunch of gingers. All right.
So what game is this again?
This is called Evolution 2. Some type of RPG. I don't know.
Have you ever played this one before?
No, never once. We'll probably play this for a minute, and then I'll probably move to something else.
So it's just one of those things where it's just been part of your full Dreamcast collection.
I found it not too long ago. Barca, what are you doing? Barca, no, come over here. Don't go behind the chair and try and pull down the freaking green screen like you like to do.
Oh man, have you seen this new picture-in-picture mode that YouTube has on its website?
Where you like hit back or whatever, and it still has the stream going.
Well, like it'll like put it like in a rectangle, but you can move it like into your other monitor or whatever.
Oh,
it's like,
I knew it does that once in a while. It's always when I'm trying to like back out of a song or something I didn't want to listen to, and then the song just keeps playing, and I'm like, no, stop it! That's not what I wanted.
No, I know what you're talking about. It's not that. Like it literally like, like I could leave YouTube completely and just have like this window that's, I don't know, maybe like 500 by 500 by 800 pixels. Not even 800. But yeah, I don't know. You just have to use it, I guess, to see it. But yeah, it's actually pretty nice.
Okay. The player
Anyways, nobody cares about this.
Check out these new YouTube features. Oh man.
Trying to cash in them YouTube checks.
What's the woman's name? Who's the CEO of YouTube?
Oh, Susan Wojcik or
Is
something like that.
is Susan? Is she there with you right now? Are you
Yes, she's making me
just
plug.
has a gun to the back of your head? You're like,
Yeah.
ah, just keep talking about these great picture-in-picture features.
Talk about our new feature. Studio is better than the old YouTube classic, isn't it? Yes, yes.
So much
Hey,
fun.
John Rogers.
Yeah, John, how you doing, man? It was interesting. John sent me a board game, I think a year or so ago, and I've been meaning to like play it. And I think I finally set some time aside because some buddies of mine were going to do like a whole board game thing, and then the whole COVID thing hit, and I'm like, well, that's not happening for a while. Feel really bad about that. But it's literally that board game sits like over a year. Yeah. It like sits right next to my desk, just looking at me off the shelf, like right off my peripheral. So it's right there staring at me, reminding me every day. I'm like, I need to do something with this.
Man, I remember I got like at last year's PRG. I bought like some like Star Trek surprise box or whatever, and there was a TNG card game in there, and so I should probably play that with Lainey. Well, she still has a couple movies to go, so maybe
Okay.
not.
What type of card game is it?
I can't remember what it's called, like Flux, or I'd have to look. I'd have to get the box.
Yeah.
Oh, your stream seems.
Oh
no.
yeah. No, John, I had taken it because I remember that year I took it to Portland, but we didn't actually. I don't know. We got really, really drunk, and I didn't think the board game would be safe to bust out. So I brought it. It was in my bag. I promise.
Oh, I've seen this game actually.
Oh, Evolution 2 or?
Yeah, I haven't played it, but I have seen it.
Oh, great. Now my chat monitor. Oh, wait, it's back. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
Okay,
called
fine.
Flux.
I'll give you that. Well, John, let me know if you ever want me to send it back or anything like that, man. I'll do that if you ever want. To your Matt Action, how you doing, man? Okay, one of these days I really want to do there's a Sins of a Solar Empire total conversion mod for the total conversion Star Trek mod for it, and it's just freaking fantastic.
Nice.
That would be a really fun community game to do, but unfortunately a game of that would take hours.
John says I should check out the 5-Year Mission, a great co-op Star Trek board game.
Oh.
Haven't heard of it. Lady and I played some Wheel of Fortune on PS4 yesterday, and I did not do well.
Something in the next 5 years. I will, John, I promise. That's your. I'm looking at these people with the weird backpack that kid's wearing on the stream. I'm just like, you must be the worst person to be on a train with. Just imagine trying to turn around.
Just think about his poor lower back.
It's like, oh, my spine.
Hey, Godzilla. How's it
Hey,
going?
Godzilla, how you doing, man? I haven't seen you forever.
Oh yeah, there's a column saying that his wife wants to play that new Star Wars Squadron game, the one that EA just started plugging. I think this week.
I guess $40. So you at least know it's not going to be free to play trash, because plus.
Yeah, well, it's EA, so it'll just be a different kind of trash.
Yeah. I don't know. I really, pretty much everything they did with the physics in every Battlefield after 2, I just despised. So I'm kind of like, meh. Wait, what am I supposed to be doing here? Yeah, annoying noise. That's my. Okay, so I'm just walking around, huh? I need to check that out. I used to really dig playing X-Wing and TIE Fighter were really fun to play back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did enjoy those.
Apparently I can't go any further forward. I guess I can go back. I find that's a problem with RPGs on streams. Oh, wait, apparently you just go back to the other door and then something happens.
Yeah, I personally find that RPGs, I don't know, at least in my experience, they don't make the greatest games to stream because, you know, they require all this reading and attention paying.
Yeah, that is attention's problematic.
Yeah.
God, I used to love, there's another Star Trek game I absolutely freaking love. It was called Birth of Federation. It was a turn-based, basically, a lot like Civilization, basically, if you ever played that game franchise. But a turn-based game in the Star Trek universe like that. We had to, like, colonize planets, build the colony up for, like, industrial or things like that to produce ships, and had all types of great little mechanics in it. Does that guy have a rocket arm?
I guess.
Or is it... Huh.
So, this game's graphics are very confusing. Like, I don't know, like the characters are all like almost chibi-ish, but then like parts of the train are kind of realistic. Whoa, Colin with the $20 donation.
Whoa, I didn't even see that yet.
Said the Milky Bars are on him.
Oh.
And I do believe he is hitting on you, and that was sexual in
Oh,
nature.
gotcha. Appreciate the donation, Colin. Yeah, let's do if Colin ever actually comes to the United States, well, I will have to fight him though. That's something we've agreed upon. Menu, how you doing, man? Or yeah, Menoku. Star Trek V for DOS was my jam.
Godzilla73 said, please tell me you guys have watched the documentary. Channel is Archipel, and the title is A Dreamcast Documentary.
Is that the one where it like goes through a lot of the Japanese developers and things like that? I think I watched that one.
The one that's like all like dubbed over?
Yeah, yeah.
I think I watched that one.
It's been I think it came out over a year ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or subtitled. I'm sorry, I said dubbed. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I thought he was talking about a different Dreamcast documentary, in quotes at first. Quote unquote documentary. Anyways, you're drinking wine, right? You said?
Yes, yes. Yeah. I'll be along with you here momentarily. I love this guy just pulls out a shotgun, a double-barreled hunting shotgun to kill that guy. But when we fight, it will mean horrid. Will be mean, horrid, and when we're done, we will laugh. Oh yeah, that's how most fights are like that. Activated Complex, how you doing, man?
Oh wait, so he didn't kill that guy that he shot?
Oh, apparently we defeated them in combat, but it didn't do anything, eh? Okay. Out of respect for your courage, we shall retire for today. Who says we shall retire? Wait, I might have some like must be some like I've never actually played Evolution 1. This must be like an English steampunk type universe.
I guess. It feels like I don't know. Reminds me a little bit of Final Fantasy VII, but not in a good way. Like in a rip-off-ish kind of way.
Well,
but I mean,
I'm trying to remember if there were any other because like Final Fantasy VII was like the first. I feel like that was the first big 3D RPG.
Yeah,
right?
I was just saying there's tons of games like that though, like real similar 3D JRPGs. So I mean,
yeah,
shouldn't say it's a rip-off.
So yeah, deeply inspired by.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up some information about it. Let's see. Evolution 2 Far Off Promise.
That's a badass thing to say right before getting shot by a blasted by a shotgun. Teddy Roosevelt approves.
Oh, the developer, I mean, this is according to Wikipedia, was Sting.
The English music sensation from The Police.
I would like to think it's Sting, the professional wrestler that mostly wrestled in World Championship Wrestling.
just sat at his desk developing with face paint on.
Yeah.
And and never said anything to any. Sting didn't talk, right? Or did Sting talk?
He talked, yeah.
Okay. He carried a baseball bat, right?
Yeah, eventually. He had like a year and a half where he didn't say anything.
Okay.
And it was right around the time when he started carrying the baseball bat, so I think that's where the confusion's coming from.
Okay.
They called him Crow Sting, not officially, but
yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember when I saw him, I'm like, "The fuck is the Crow doing here?" That's around the time my brother was getting into that, or well, I guess my brother was always into that. That was around the time he was buying those pay-per-view events. These were so confusing to me. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
So this game looks like it got pretty much average reviews. Well, I don't know. On game rankings, it has 66%. So I don't know if I'd say average. IGN 4.5 out of 10.
Ooh, IGN was not happy that day apparently.
Game Informer gave it a 6 out of 10. GameSpot 5.7 out of 10. Anyways, real popular game, I guess.
Yeah. Which is interesting, is like the price of it's held up decently, but I think that's a lot of Dreamcast games now, though. The town of Mooseville. Probably gonna switch games here in a second. This is a. I don't know. I wasn't sure what I was expecting. I'm like, this is a very slow form RPG.
Yeah, this is.
And I'd never played this game before, so I figured it'd just be fun to play on stream for a minute, just because I never checked it out.
Well, did you like go into the menu and choose an option called Chore? That's what Colin said that the only pay-per-view he experienced was WrestleMania 20. Man, that was a great pay-per-view, but then it got kind of ruined by Benoit killing his family. But
oh yeah.
Benacero says hi.
How's it going? Bringing up the dark timeline in wrestling. I remember you were telling me about that one night, and I was like, "Wait, that a story arc they did?" You're like, "No, that really happened." Like, I'm like, you're like, no, that really happened. I'm like,
oh. What do you think of throwing on?
Oh my god. Let's see. Let's do some. Let's do. I was enjoying Toy Commander a lot. I'm gonna put that back on. Hang on one sec, guys.
You're gonna put what? Toy Commander? Oh, Toy Commander, the one with the awful textures. Or maybe they were just like lazy textures, something like that. Toy Commander's the one with the shitty water, right?
Yeah, the water you despised.
Now that I did one video with 3D models, and I consider myself an expert.
I'll have you know, I spent a good hour and a half doing stuff in Cinema 4D, and I'm pretty sure I can make a better game than these people. Pretty sure I just could. Oh, man. I was so pissed last week, like losing 3 nights of work because that render kept failing. Oh, that was...
Like, killed a man for it. Oh, you know what? Your stream is... Oh,
is it buffering right now?
Yeah. Oh, there it goes. It's back.
That's weird, because I'm seeing excellent health, so...
Yep, it's here. Maybe it was just on my end.
Play the Royal Rumble game again.
Oh my god, yes. You should definitely do that one next.
Okay, we'll do that one a little later.
Okay, Matt actually said the stream was buffering. Okay, so I'm not crazy.
Okay, so it was cutting out a little bit, I guess.
I think once I finish up with this GoldenEye video, maybe we can get a couple other people and do some GoldenEye multiplayer on Parsec.
Oh, that'd be fun. Do like slappers only or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Dynamite Cop's a good one. Could do that one here in a bit.
This is a real Five Nights at Freddy's vibe here.
You mean Five Nights at Freddy's at Toy Commander? I like it. Jeremy's posting a GIF of a buffering logo. Alrighty. Finally cleared room on my memory pack, and whoever had had this one before me, God, they played a crap ton of NBA 2K1, because they had like 154 blocks on this memory card used. I was like, damn, man.
Damn. Damn, so Godzilla, he said he got COVID about a month ago, by the way. Couldn't stop me, though. Toughed it out. Fever was so bad my pillow was on fire. Had to keep moving off the pillow, finding a different spot. Couldn't even game. Sucked.
Damn. Sorry, man.
Glad you're doing better, man.
Yeah, glad you're doing all right. Yeah, my mother actually got it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, yeah, she got it. It turns out, like, because I went to a buddy's wedding in Portland, and my mother went into the hospital with respiratory issues, and it didn't really occur to us that it had hit the area yet. And so she got hooked up to, like, a respirator and all that, and we're like, oh, shit. And then I kind of just kept it myself. But yeah, it was interesting. But she's doing all right and at home, working from home now.
Well, that's good. Glad to hear she's doing well.
Yeah.
See, like, the infection rate in Florida is, like, out of control now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was looking at it the other day. It was like, I think it was 2 days ago, like something like 3,400 new cases or something like that.
Well, they hit another record for cases in a day, 4,000.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a few days, I think, with in the threes. But, yeah, like, their infection rate is, like, 12% of the people that they test positive. Wow. I mean, I laugh because I don't know what else to fucking do.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
But anyways, you know.
Yeah, let's go back to video games. Let's talk about the. Ooh, how do you recover from that?
Let's talk about Ian. You seem to have a strange fascination with video games about toys, children's toys. I don't know. Is this you didn't get to play with toys during your childhood? What's going on, Ian?
I don't know. I guess we could talk about the deeper psychological issues of two grown men who have hobbies about reviewing video game consoles on their.
No, yeah, this is about you. I don't want to make it about me. I wouldn't do that to you.
wouldn't single you out or anything with some weird psychological issue. No idea. No, I think it's for me. It's just because enjoy the tech behind a lot of this stuff. But for me,
it's like two games.
No, I gotcha. No, we'll tell you, like freaking do love the game Toy Story though. But ever playing the crap
three
about
games, actually. Toy Story, Clockwork Orange, and this one.
Yeah. Oh, Clock Night. Clockwork Orange. Clockwork Orange.
Sorry, I got Soren on my mind. Good old Malcolm McDowell.
Oh, man. I always thought that Malcolm McDowell was in the live-action Western remake, or the live-action Western anime, I guess, Western remake of Fist of the North Star.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that was a thing until that actually popped up on my my Netflix queue, and I was like, they made a live-action Fist of the North Star. This is amazing.
Did you know that the guy that plays Bashir is like his nephew?
I knew he was related to like one of the former kings of Egypt or something like that. Office Beats, what game is it? This is a game called Toy Commander on the Dreamcast. I think I don't think this was a launch title, but it was one of the early releases, I think.
Yeah, I don't think that this is one of the launch titles. At least not one of the ones heavily advertised.
Oh, I forgot I have to shoot the. Got to start the oven by shooting the knobs. But God, it was the other night, like last night, I was doing a couple of video renders.
Mm-hmm.
So I had my laptop going, and then I had my tower going, just rendering, and I was just like, my office was getting so hot upstairs. I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying. I'm gonna black out. It's getting so hot in here.
Yeah, man. My new computer, whenever like I render, I mean, it does it super super fast, but you know, it has like all this because you know it's a high end rig and they expect you to be doing a lot of intense stuff, so it has all these like crazy like fans for cooling. And the shit sounds like it's gonna take off for like 2 minutes while it's rendering a video.
So yeah, Colin says you're a knob. I assume he's talking to me. Try stepping on a D4.
Yeah, John, I like Bashir too, but I hated him at first. But I think you're supposed to. I think he's like written to kind of be arrogant. Oh, I should mention because Laney's going to join that. We're only up to season 2 of DS9. Pretty close to the end. I think we have like 5 episodes to go.
I think right towards the end of season 2, it gets such really good.
Yeah, it gets good during season 2. There's a lot of good ones in there.
Wait, was season 2 is like that's when they? Has she joined yet or no?
No.
Season 2 is like right around the time they start introducing the Dominion more heavily, right?
That they start like name dropping it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like every other episode, somebody will like mention it in conversation about something the Dominion did to some race, which I love going back and watching the show because like they dropped all these little hints about everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like out of the last 4 or 5 episodes we watched, like it's been mentioned at least half the time. In passing, though.
Oh, it's at the end of season 2.
Well, that's when like they announce themselves.
Yeah, that's when they come to the station and all that, right?
The Vorta.
Yeah, God, I freaking loved the Vorta, but it got really funny though, like towards the end, where like they just had the same Vortas over and over again because they just were cloning them.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny.
Yeah,
but God, Wei Yun was amazing. I freaking Jeremy. What's his name? What is that actor's name who plays Wei Yun?
Oh, I can't remember.
I can't remember his name right now. I'm drawing a complete blank.
Oh, he's in Reanimator. Oh,
yeah,
what is his name? Jeff Combs.
Jeffrey Combs. Okay. Did I blow up that egg by accident?
Venesaria said that DS9 is one of her all-time favorite shows.
Oh, hell yeah. You are in good company here. One of my favorite games, there was a Star Trek strategy game, like squad strategy game, that was it was a DS9 Dominion War game that was pretty great.
Oh, Fallen something?
Well, no, that was like the FPS game that they had, but they had another one that was like a squad ship command game where you had like 12 star ships and then you had to like command your way through missions and stuff like that.
See, I don't know, man. Like, for me, like, I prefer my Star Trek games to be less about fighting and combat and more like, I guess more like an RPG, I guess.
No, that makes sense.
Even though I'm not like the biggest RPG fan.
Fair enough. I've always been like
Dominion War.
Yeah, the ship game is called Dominion War. Yeah. But no, this is a really fun game because like you go through different missions that they had like talked about in the background of DS9, the show. And that was pretty great. And then you also had there was another Star Trek game. Yeah, Star Trek Armada was amazing. And then what was the other one? It was like this like random. It was one of the games that came out late mid-90s. It was a full 3D Star Trek ground war strategy game where it was like the Federation, Klingons, and Romulans. And it was just like the oddest, just the strangest game.
I don't know.
It was real weird.
Did you ever play the Generations game that came out for PC?
No, I don't think I did.
I never played it, but I'm pretty sure I have
New
it
World,
because I think it was in that box of like Star Trek stuff.
Oh, you got a PRG?
The mystery box.
Oh, okay.
So John ranks the the Star Trek series TNG, DS9, TOS, Voyager, all others at the bottom. I don't know. I always go back and forth between TNG and DS9. Usually, whichever one I'm like rewatching is my favorite at the time. You know. TOS and Voyager. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's some really good stuff in TOS, but there's some like real dumb stuff too.
Yeah, there's some real bad TOS stuff out there.
Not that there isn't terrible Voyager stuff.
Oh, yeah,
But I don't know. I think Voyager's a lot better than it gets credit for. I think the thing with Voyager is like it never got like consistently bad or consistently good. Like to me, every season is pretty much kind of a mixed bag,
Hmm.
you know. So it doesn't feel like it ever got its Riker beard moment or Cisco head shave moment, you know, where okay, from here on it's good.
Yeah. Oh, crap. Missed the turn. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, Voyager was always kind of interesting because you're like, okay, they're in the middle of nowhere, the ship took a crap ton of damage, but everything's fine now. You're like, how did everything get fixed immediately after? But then again, it also brought in questions about like how well the replicator technology worked and all that. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and they couldn't decide if they wanted them to like at first like have like you know a certain limited number of photon
Oh yeah.
torpedoes, and then later on,
What was
it's
it
like,
that?
"Ah,
What
however."
was it that one guy did the math? Like after that,
Oh
like they
yeah.
fired like 120 out of like the 30 they said they had or something like that.
Yeah, it's something like that.
But I thought it was kind of funny they picked that arbitrary number for photon torpedoes, and then in every Star Trek show, like photon torpedoes like they're not the end all be all of their weaponry. It always depends on the phasers because the photons require like kinetic strike ability to destroy a ship or something along those lines.
Venezuela said that's why Battlestar was so good, the new one at least.
Oh yeah, are you
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
Battlestar 1980 that wasn't your go-to? Were there?
That is the new one, right?
No.
Battlestar Galactica 1980.
Well, that was like the last one they did, where they're like, they made it to Earth and all the people are down there, but they're like trying to hide the fact that they're a space armada in orbit or whatever. And it was just really awkward.
Yeah, no, I mean obviously I know she's talking about.
That's what you're talking about, right?
Edward James Olmos, of course.
Not the one where they have the jet motorcycles that fly.
No, not that one.
No. What?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think that like I mean Battlestar was great, but like I don't know if like that would have people always say like, oh, that's how Voyager should have been. And yeah, logically that is how it should have been, but I don't know, it becomes like increasingly difficult to do a Star Trek show that, you know, stays tied to its roots like that.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, it would have been too dark or whatever.
So I thought, did you ever watch Stargate? What was it, Stargate Universe?
I watched like most of season 1.
Yeah, something only made it to the 2 seasons, I think, before they canceled it. But I always felt like Stargate Universe was like how Voyager could have been if it was very dark and limited resources.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a pretty great take on it. See, John says you have to use the phasers to damage the shield, then you can use the photon torpedoes to finish them off. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. It always seemed to me like phasers being your primary weapon were always more important than the photon torpedoes would require you to penetrate their shields. And it seemed like half the time, whenever Voyager fought a ship, they could never penetrate the shields anyway. You know, they're like, like they fire a volley, they're like, no effect. And then they get nailed, their shields are down like 40%.
Dade's here. He just
Whoa,
donated $5.
Hey Dade, how you doing, man?
Happy. Oh yeah, Ian. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, thank
he
you.
says. Anyways, happy Father's Day, Ian. Here's $5. Have a big ol' coffee on me.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that,
And
dude.
he means to pour it on him and lick it off.
Oh boy,
So,
that would before or after it cools down, or just
We'll
no,
see
not
what-
even.
let's see. I'm just gonna see if I can make every donation some kind of weird sexual.
Oh, jeez.
tonight.
Appreciate the donation, man. And also,
Batting
happy Father's Day to you as well.
Well, John. I mean, there's no pleasure without a little bit of pain. Am I right?
I almost just pour an energy drink into my wine glass. That would have been really odd.
I'm actually gonna make another drink. I'll be right back.
Do your thing. Well, I hope everybody's having a fantastic Saturday evening. Okay, move on to Deep Sea Trap. Hey, Jonathan G, how you doing, man? That's pretty much what a poor loco is. Oh, man, that's got to be so bad for your heart. Like, I have an energy drink I, like, sip on through the evening while I have wine, but that's about it. More whiskey. Hey, one sec, guys. I'm going to take care of something really quick. I'll be right back. Okay. And we're back. Shots for everyone. Man, I haven't had whiskey in a while. I still have some rum in my fridge, but I was kind of like, yeah, I'm not really feeling hard alcohol this evening. Just kind of wanted to sip on some wine for a while, just hang out and chit-chat. But I hope all you guys are doing great. Okay, I gotta find the submarines, take them out. But yeah, those of you just tuning in the stream, this is Toy Commander, I don't think this was a launch title, but I could be wrong. Brooke, how you doing? Wait, are these depth charges? Racers are not very effective, because I don't believe Corsairs were ever particularly designed for... Oh, okay, you have to dive in. Okay, I get it now. Alright.
Oh, man. So, I went to go fucking make this drink, and, like, our coffee maker is next to, like, our liquor. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I grabbed like the coffee pot, so I had some coffee, and I poured it into the shot glass. And I'm like halfway through making my drink. I'm like, wait a minute. This isn't correct.
Making an espresso shot. Venisera, yeah, you're welcome to make a request if you there's a game you want to see tonight. Let me know, and I'll see if I have it. I only have like I think a collection of about 25-ish games down here. But if it's down here, I'll definitely put it on eventually. Worked late tonight, just wanted to donate. All right, appreciate it, dude. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, Power Stone, somebody can play tonight. I think I brought that down. Yeah, I got it right there. I need to get Power Stone 2, though, but that game was like $75.
Ouch. So, I don't think that... last time I streamed, we didn't end up playing the WWF Royal Rumble game, right?
Oh, yeah, we did. Wait.
We played like Blitz a lot.
No, we did. We did play the Royal Rumble game though, and like I was beating your ass for a bit, and then you figured out how to play. Oh, I do not have I Spy, Vanessa. But yeah. So Brady will. So we'll find out in September about her. Oh, awesome, man. Tell her congratulations when she makes. It was E5, right?
That's awesome, dude.
That's a good accomplishment for someone to become an NCO.
I mean, some people like Harry Kim spent 7 years in a post and never even get promoted.
Poor guy. You'd think there would have been like at least a battlefield promotion, but I guess like technically, you know, in the military, your rank is based on position and availability, and if the only posting you have within 75,000 light years is an ensign slot, I guess you're stuck as an ensign for that entire time.
Yeah, but Tom Paris gets promoted.
Oh God, and he's not even actually Starfleet.
Right, he gets promoted, then he gets demoted, remember, for like disobeying direct orders, and like, you know, like later on, like I think like half a season later, he's promoted again.
Forgot about Paris. Oh, poor Harry.
Yeah. Have you listened to their podcast at all? Hey, Kevin Ball.
Kevin Ball, what's up, man?
Delta Flyers.
I didn't know that was a thing, but I'm going to have to check that out.
Oh, yeah, like the actor that did, you know, play Tom Paris and Harry Kim, like they have a podcast together now. They're like every weekday, or they're going in order like of the entire Voyager series and just like talking about an episode.
Oh, I actually think my brother was talking to me about that. I'll have to check that out.
It's called the Delta Flyers.
I'm going to check that out.
Venesaria said, well, Kim did get captain of the Rhode Island in post content.
Whoa. John, appreciate the donation, man.
Oh, $5 from John. No message for me to...
Nothing for you to...
So, the fact that it's blank, what that tells me is that John wants you to have your way. Say whatever you want. Dealer's choice. Well.
Screw the Net says, oh snap, it's the third high-def remake of Paper Airplane.
John said that there was a message. It got eaten. Getting real kinky, John.
Oh. Let's see here. Then you have MLG Venom Pokemon says hello. How you doing? Whoa. Activate Complex. Happy Father's Day. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate it.
Yeah, but we all know the kind of stream he really wants to thank you for. And
Oh, jeez. Oh, if you weren't aware, I have an OnlyFans account. You're more than welcome to just subscribe to. Oh, I gotta get fuel. Okay, forgot there's
John, I'm only limiting. So John said, I said Ian. Oh wait, I think this is the message. Ian has to play Royal Rumble. Try and make a sexual joke out of that. So he was requesting Royal Rumble.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, I feel like it's a wrestling game, so the jokes tell themselves.
Oh, so yeah. MLG says I only have 2 games for my Dreamcast: Shadow Man and Mortal Kombat. Well, Mortal Kombat's not the worst, but Shadow Man's pretty bad. I'm sorry.
Is that based on the movie?
No, nothing to do with the Sam Raimi take on Shadow. Or no, it's Shadow Man. No, nothing to do with that. It's like this interesting, like, Creole, Louisiana type take on paranormal stuff. It's kind of really strange, and just not a very decent game. I remember like when I first got my Dreamcast, that was one of the games I had, and I played it a couple times. I'm like, why? I'm like, who made this? Like, this is awful. I failed. I forgot to blow up the.
John asked if we're confusing Shadow Man with Dark Man, and now that he says that,
yep,
I'm not
sure.
I
I was confusing Dark Man with Shadow Man, because Dark Man was a Sam Raimi film made in the early '90s about I want to say it was Liam Neeson. Who,
oh wait, I think I'm thinking of the Shadow.
The Shadow, yeah, that's it. That's what you're thinking. The Shadow, based on the 1930s comic book.
So basically, nobody knows what they're talking about except for John.
Welcome to millennials who have been drinking, trying to remember things that may or may not have happened. I want Ron back so I can live on pre-work. Oh man,
Quest bars are pretty good.
Let's see here. Jeremy Dixon says Starfleet is Navy-based. Everyone on the ship should have made it to lieutenant after like 5 years, but not Harry Kim. He got to stay as an ensign.
Yeah, but to Jeremy's point, like almost everybody's like that's a throwaway character is like a lieutenant on Star Trek.
Yeah, because I think technically ensign's lower than lieutenant, because lieutenant's basically because in the Army it goes second lieutenant, first lieutenant, captain, and lieutenant in the Navy is a captain basically. An equivalent rank to the Army.
Mm.
I'm really bad with Navy ranks because I'm in the Army, so don't quiz me on that, please. Because a Navy captain is the equivalent of an Army colonel, so it's kind of really throws me off.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This game just kills me that they just add this fake shitty water and call it another stage.
Well, yeah, because they just flood the arena, and they're like, "Yeah, this is totally a new map.
Yeah, this is a new map.
Deal with it."
Dade said that the best movies from the 90s, about the 30s and 40s, Dick Tracy, The Shadow, The Rocketeer, and The Phantom.
Oh, yeah, The Phantom, starring Billy Zane.
I never saw, out of these movies, The Rocketeer.
The Rocketeer is actually probably the best of the collection. I think it was actually...
I've heard it's good.
Was it Touchstone? Disney? I think
it's a Disney movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Venisira said, reminds me of the old Counter-Strike D_Rats maps.
Oh, yeah, actually exactly like that. Gotta love the Rats maps.
Jeremy said, promotion to lieutenant is 100%. You just have to do the time to get it. There is no real promotion. It just happens. The only way it won't happen is if you fuck up. Or if you're real annoying like Harry Kim, apparently.
Essentially, like, I'm a first lieutenant right now in the Army. And your promotion to first lieutenant from second is basically guaranteed. And I've known 2 guys that were pretty fucked up that didn't. They got held back, I guess would be the way to describe it, where they had to sit there and do stuff and prove themselves that they were worthy of being promoted to first lieutenant, which
This
is
is like Captain America picking up Thor's hammer. What is this?
well, it's more like if you're just completely inept, they're like, yeah, you need to really step up and prove yourself that you're actually worth promoting and keeping within the organization.
That's good. I mean, makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. It reminds me of the old... Hell yeah. If you look at Billy Zane now... yeah, Billy Zane, like, went from being that, like, full head of hair to all that to bald, looking a lot like a bald version of... who am I thinking of?
A bald version of Billy Zane.
Bald.
So,
yeah, well, that's the easiest way to describe it. I was just thinking, oh my god, I cannot remember the big famous actor... did War of the Worlds radio play?
Orson Welles?
Yeah, Orson Welles. Thank you. It looks a bit like Orson Welles, but I think Orson Welles kept all his hair though.
And the thing with Billy is like it seemed to happen really quick, right?
Well, yeah, it was like I don't know. Did you ever watch the movie? It was Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Like he looked like really young and fit in that one. Though some later movies, he just like immediately went real quick. Like the second he did that little guest appearance on Zoolander, you're like, what's happening to Billy Zane?
All downhill after Titanic.
Oh yeah, he was in that too. Come this summer, 2021. Billy Zane and Kojak. It's Kojak.
So John said in TNG the ranks are as follows: Chief Petty Officer, Ensign, Lieutenant Junior grade. Oh yeah, I do remember that.
I thought Chief Petty Officer was I thought they actually in DS9 they invented enlisted ranks.
Right, so I was just gonna ask you about that because I thought like it wasn't like really a rank, right? He's not like an officer.
Yeah, I thought I could be very wrong. I don't know. I don't actually know any of the enlisted ranks in Starfleet.
But John said I said TNG.
Oh, yeah, because they had, okay, yeah, you.
Wait. I said TNG. No, just joking around.
I wish John would get like really, really angry. He's like, "Shut your mouths."
He did say in TNG though, because yeah, it's not till like, and actually O'Brien's rank at the beginning of TNG is like
ensign,
lieutenant
right?
or something.
Yeah,
right?
that was like ensign or something like that. I could be wrong, but yeah, I remember that being a thing. Because I always wondered, I'm like, you know, I don't know what the equivalent of you know, going to college is in the 24th century, but I feel like there'd be a couple of people that are just, you know, I just want to serve. I'm not really smart, but I can turn a wrench real good, and I feel like that would still be something you'd need on a starship. I don't know.
John said he's flopping this virtual table. I believe he meant flipping. Unless flopping is some other kind of advanced.
Oh yeah, freaking TNG era. Yeah, they had yeoman. Yeah, freaking there was what was her name?
But anything in like the first two seasons, like they didn't know what they were doing yet. They were figuring shit out.
I was thinking TOS. I think had yeoman.
Yeah.
Because there was like always that one female that would like, what was that young girl's name in TOS that like would always go to Kirk with the clipboard?
Yeah, the blonde.
And she was
actually
a yeoman.
in like the movies too.
Oh, was she?
Uh-huh.
Oh. I like honestly like Star Trek the motion picture, like I get so thrown off when you go from like TOS to that because I'm like, what is happening in this movie? Because it's pretty much like they keep like chronological time. They're like, yeah, it's been forever since since TOS. And in my young brain when I watched it, I'm like, what's going on? Oh, Star Trek 6 Undiscovered Country, they had it. Okay. Oh, crap, I need fuel. And I'm going to crash into the ocean. No, come on. No. I wasn't paying attention. Let's gotta get to that fuel over there. Can I glide in?
You can glide into WWF Royal Rumble or something.
Oh yeah, we go. I'll finish this mission and we can go into that. There's this next mission on here where like I've had like the weirdest time with it because I was like trying to figure out how to play it or know how to beat it, but I can never find like a gate. And I'm like, okay, all these cereal boxes stacked together like a wall would make me assume that there's a gate here, but I can never find it. Makes me really happy when we can turn the stream into conversations about Star Trek. This makes me the happiest person ever.
Yeah. Just remember, Lainey hasn't seen the last 2 TNG movies, so
just tell her not to look at the chat.
Nobody talk about especially the last movie. To me, it's not canon, anyways. Oh, somebody said, Jonathan G said, I'm not a big Trekkie, but I tried watching Picard and it was really goofy.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Picard just, like... I mean, I have to say, like, when I watched The Last Jedi, I was irritated because I thought it was just a bad movie. But then when I watch Picard, I'm just like, this is just awful. Like, I don't know who would trust Alec Kurtzman to get them coffee. Like, based on just the stuff he's done to the franchise, I'm just like, who? Like, wow.
He has one of the most punchable faces I've seen in a long time. A long time. Like,
oh, man.
If this was like 10 years ago, before he took over Trek, he showed me a picture of him. The first thing I would say is, good God, I hope this guy doesn't get Star Trek.
Like, wow, this seems like a guy that would ruin Star Trek.
Yeah. Benasaria was asking, does anyone play Star Trek online? I tried it. But
I did back when it first came out, and I hit max like level 55, got my Sovereign class, played it for a bit, and then kind of never went back after that.
Hey, is this thing that says Hangar 51? Is that like a reference to isn't there a Megadeth song called Hangar 51? No, Hangar 18. Never mind.
Hangar 18 is that sci-fi made-for-TV movie from the 70s, I think.
Yeah, it's a reference to something else, but there's like a Megadeth song called Hangar 18. John Rogers playing STO on PS4. So I tried it both on PC and PS4, and I found the PS4 version. Now, I tried it like right when it came out, so it's probably improved, but I thought the controls were impossible to deal with on the PS4. I thought they didn't translate well to the controller, and the text was, like, in a lot of cases, really hard to read.
Oh, interesting.
But I haven't played STO in
I still play every
years.
Yeah, will do. Like I said, yeah, I haven't touched Star Trek Online in, oh God, what was it, like a decade ago at this point? I don't remember. I still have my collector's edition box that came with a bronze cast comm badge.
Oh.
Yeah.
What a nerd.
Right?
John Rogers said the game is still janky, but you learn to live with it. I'm a fleet admiral now. Holy shit.
I remember getting my Sovereign class and be like, yeah, but one of my favorite things about that game, though, was there's this one mission where you go back in time and, like, save the Enterprise. And I'm like, hell yeah, my ship's like 200 years more advanced than these people. I'm going to wreck these Klingon ships. And then all of a sudden I start getting trashed. I'm like, oh God, what's going on? I was like, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Oh, jeez.
I don't know, man. For me, the best Star Trek game is still Final Unity. Fucking awesome. And I would say second to that, the other one I enjoyed the most, I would say objectively it's not the best, but I enjoyed it a lot, was Future's End, I think it was called, on
so I'm gonna be
Super Nintendo.
So I'm gonna be I don't know what you call this, but like a alternative Star Trek guy, and say one of my favorite all-time Star Trek games would have to be Star Trek Borg, the FMV game.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Futures Past was the SNES game I was thinking about.
Yeah. Yeah, because God, Star Trek Borg, the FMV game, God, I loved that one.
Yeah, that one was.
And then like the whole meta thing where like you had to solve that puzzle by getting assimilated and, and then reload the game.
Dude, it took me so long.
Oh God, I remember
that out.
It was so funny. My brother and I, we were sitting there and we're like, what if Q is trying to tell us to like reload the game after getting assimilated? Because my brother and I, we just quit out the second we got assimilated, thinking like, we lost, and we kept doing that over and over again. And we're like, well, what if we get assimilated and see what happens? And then we're like, oh,
mind blown.
Like, this is amazing.
And then doesn't Q say something like snarky, like,
yeah,
once you actually do it and you figure it out?
Yeah, he's like, hey, maybe you'll. I can't remember what it was, but it was just amazing in that regard.
Yeah, catch up with the chat a little bit here.
Oh, yeah.
John said that level 65 is the level cap now for STO.
Oh, okay.
Benasaria said, but I thought the story with the Iconians and how they carry things onward is so far better than anything Star Trek Discovery or Star Trek Picard. I think they're talking about STO. Oh, Klingon Academy, you've played that one, right? I don't.
Oh yeah, I freaking love Klingon Academy because it was like it's Starfleet Command and all that, but because Klingon Academy had some like FMV moments in it, where it had a lot of FMV sequences. But yeah. Let's see here. MLG says the Dreamcast had maracas as a controller. That kind of had motion controls. Yeah, actually, God, it was what was it? Shinobi did that whole video where he was discussing the 3D analog controller with the expansion slots on it, and how Sega had basically patented motion controller concepts for Saturn controller add-ons, and so they basically beat Nintendo to the punch by a decade, which I thought was, but yeah, that's kind of interesting. God, I freaking got that video Genovi did is freaking badass.
Sorry, I was just reading something that I'll have to send to our group chat.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sounds about right. But you know, there's a ton of stuff Sega did with like controller concepts that were just amazing. It's just, to me, it's always a shame that they didn't put in a second analog controller on the freaking Dreamcast controller.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things though, where like with Sega though was fighting a simple war of economics, where they really didn't have the resources in some respects to like do something like that. If you just, I don't know, it might have been just because they were thinking the primary competition would have been Nintendo 64, which only had one analog stick. I think it's thought the whole two-stick thing was a fad, but but I don't know.
I mean, I don't think it would have made a difference in the long run. I mean, obviously, it would have made a difference, like, you know, with your controls or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I just mean, like, as far as like the future of the company.
Oh yeah. No, I think I've told you a ton of times about my like random theory. I'm like, yeah, the Sega Neptune, that would have. I feel like that would have saved Sega if they had just gone that route and invested in the full concept of reverse compatibility with the Genesis. And
You know,
just, like,
I think their big problem was that they didn't port Thunder in Paradise to the Sega CD.
that was well, God, yeah, that's a huge problem right there.
That actually would have been great for the Sega CD.
That would have been great for the Saturn, even.
Yeah, it actually would have been, I guess, a little bit too late for the Sega CD, right?
Oh yeah.
No, it would have been like at the tail end.
The actual well, no, because Thunder in Paradise was what, 92?
I thought it was 96.
Was it? I don't. Was it that late?
Watch it be 94.
Yeah, I feel like it was early. Man, my second monitor for chat is just dying. That's great. Hey, one sec, guys. I'm gonna reset my monitor over here.
It was 1995.
Oh, was it 95? Wow, that's kind of late. God, that's nuts that the CDI was getting games that late in its its cycle.
I mean, that's not that late in the CDI's life.
Well, I mean, like what? Because the CDI came out in 1990.
Yep, but it wasn't discontinued till 98.
Well, yeah, like but that's still kind of interesting that they were still got like such an interesting game at least.
Well, you know, you got to work on a console for a while before you know how to
really
tap into
no,
the power.
maximize what you can get out of it. Yeah.
They were like, Hulk Hogan was begging for 5 years to have a game made.
Yeah.
They made it. They were like, Hulk, we still don't know how to fit your power. We know the CDI can do, but we don't know how to get it to do it.
I feel like it would be like they're like, hey, we can get this game on the Sega CD. He's like, no, not enough colors. Doesn't show me. Can't emphasize the power that is Thunder.
It's not showing my striations, brother.
You see all these tan variations like aged leather right here. I want you to be able to see that when you're playing the FMV sequence. I don't want any of that limited color palette. I want to make sure you can see all that.
John, the Mega CD was like 60. I mean, you could do some tricks to get it to do more, but generally speaking, 64 on-screen colors.
With the
time, I believe.
Yeah, I thought it was 64 with the
the
Mega Drive. I thought.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 64.
Mega CD wishes it could. Yeah, I thought it was 64. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's a 32X CD game, you get like 65. Get one extra color.
Did I ever tell you one of my favorite hobbies when I live stream is to refresh my sub count and just watch it go down when I live stream? Okay, we talked about it in the Royal Rumble game. I think I brought that down. One sec, let me look for it.
Yeah, I should tweet out the stream anyways. Do that real quick. Sorry, I'm gonna just mute myself so my keyboard doesn't clank, 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 clank.
Oh man, I need to get that whole setup like Volterra had, where you can just walk around with wireless headphones. I was rather impressed by that during Bob's stream. So I want to keep the mic on the swivel, but I want to have just wireless headphones.
I mean, that seems like it'd be pretty easy to do. I'm sure just Bluetooth.
Yeah, I'm sure this is a Bluetooth adapter I could pick up or something like that. But that's
just Bluetooth headphones. I mean,
well, the tower I have out here doesn't have Bluetooth compatibility.
Oh.
Yeah.
What a real retro gamer you are.
So this is like a first generation i7 I built over a decade ago that I just have out in my garage for live streaming now.
Okay, babe, I'm just gonna make a drink and then.
Ah, Lainey, hi.
She said hi. I don't think she would pick her up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think she's gonna make a drink and come join us.
All right. Sounds good to me.
You should create, because I assume this game has a create a wrestler option. You should
Oh, Smoke Monster, how you doing?
one of these days create yourself.
So what were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying that one day if this game has a create a wrestler option, you should create yourself.
Oh, let's see if they have that. Let's get arcade mode, verse mode, rankings. So let's go. I don't think this does, but Smoke Monster's here.
Hey, how's it going,
Feeling
man?
fine and sherry wine. Well, I'm drinking some Merlot, so that sounds good.
So now that you're a more seasoned veteran of the squared circle, are you going to stick with the same wrestler as last time, or?
So I'm gonna admit that being a non-veteran in the squared circle, I'm not even remember who I picked the last time. Did I pick Stone Cold? Is that who it
Sir,
was?
come on, that is too green. Yeah, I think you were Stone Cold.
Okay, all right, let's go. Oh, you know what? Let's do Mankind. Remember him having Mr. Sacco, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you knew that, sir.
Yeah. There's some things from the 90s in wrestling I remember for whatever reason. But I think mostly I remember Mankind because he showed up on 30 Rock once in a while, which I thought was hysterical. Wow.
Sorry, 1 second.
It's really interesting. It's really amusing. My secondary monitor is kind of going. Oh, talking about the Dreamcast mod, Jonathan?
Man, these polygons look good.
Hey, you can see the full detail on his button-up shirt over there if you look at it.
Yeah,
Looks pretty good.
oddly enough, I feel like the canvas actually looks pretty good. We're in canvas. But yeah, these some jagged edges here.
Yeah, I mean, it looks better than the N64, right?
Jonathan was asking if we watched Voltar's latest video.
Yep.
So I added it to my watch later with the Dreamcast, but I haven't been able to watch it. Have you?
No, I checked it out. It's a full Dreamcast mod type. Like he adds like a GDM-ROM adapter to it, and then you change its power supply up, and what else does he do? HDMI mod as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this isn't what you did last time, though, is it?
No, this is Royal Rumble. I think I did an exhibition the last round. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm a professional wrestler. I know what the Royal Rumble is, so how dare you?
You know, Sometimes I wonder. I don't
Oh
know.
man, they made Taz way too tall. That dude is short.
Let's see. Try shaking his dog, Sandy. What now? Oh yeah. I forgot. Yeah. You gotta have like Game Sack, My Life in Game, like My Life in Retro guys, or My Life in Gaming. I find it really odd that Oh no! Get back in! Get back in! Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I went to the like 1992 or 1993 Royal Rumble, and I watched. I was watching the whole thing. I'm like, oh, cool! Like watching it
Wait,
from like
you went to the 1992 Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
Isn't that the one where like Ric Flair won the championship?
No, it was the one where Yokozuna won.
Oh,
Whatever year that was, like 92, 93.
Yeah, because 92 is the one where Ric Flair won the Rumble. I think it's 93 that
I just remember like I had like literal nosebleed sections. So let me sit there like watching dots fighting each other in the ring.
Yeah, Yokozuna won.
Yeah. 92? 93? 93, okay. Yeah, so I went to that, and I don't know why I was taken to it, because like it was my brother who was like way into wrestling, and I'm like, okay, I guess we're just getting tickets for me, so they don't have to find a babysitter. So I was just there watching it. Like I was watching the whole fight go on, and then like towards the end, you see this giant freaking blob of a man just walk down the ramp, and I'm like, I was like rooting for this like one blonde-haired guy. I don't remember who I was rooting for, but I'd have to like go find a video of him watch and see if I can remember.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't watching it too much then.
Mm-hmm.
I would like sporadically watch it, but then during that era, it wasn't the best.
Sorry, Jeremy put one in quotes, and that was just really funny.
But I'm actually surprised by how many wrestlers are in the ring at once in this game.
Yeah, it's the power of the Dreamcast, bro. Let's see here. You have Robin Waters says, "Hey, just dropping by to say hey." Oh, it's going great, man. Appreciate you dropping by. Smoke Monster. This is manic. Oh, my favorite wrestler of all time. I'm really not a big wrestling guy, so I guess if I had to pick a generic,
So, London Vice is.
Oh yeah, let's go with that. Why not? Yeah.
That's the answer you're looking for, sir.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately like not a big wrestling guy, so I guess like I guess who would be if I had to think back in my collective memory? Probably second favorite, I guess after you. Probably Macho Man.
Okay, that's a good choice.
That'd be mine, yeah.
I'll allow it. Why is X-Pac back?
I don't know. I would assume it's a Royal Rumble, so he would be eliminated, right? But
right, he was already eliminated.
Yeah.
I guess do they not have 30 wrestlers on this roster for the game, so they have to like have repeats?
Just like no one will notice. Just have him come out again.
Because I don't think there's 30 people to choose from, right?
Yeah. One sec. I'm gonna turn off my second monitor. It might be overheating or something. Yeah. Okay.
So John Rogers wrote Richard Parliament better than London Vice.
Oh, that's it's Top Hat Gaming Man, right?
Yeah.
Isn't he coming out of retirement to wrestle like a YouTuber turned wrestler or something like that?
Yeah, from the What Culture channel, but I mean, like they don't have like a show set or whatever, because they don't know like when shows are gonna be running over there yet. But you never really retire from wrestling.
Wait, tie him up? What the heck? What? I just ran out of the ring. What just happened? Why did I? What? How do you get time eliminated from a Royal Rumble? I don't understand what just happened.
Yeah, I don't really get it either.
But I'm just gonna let this play out while I drink more wine, just because that's fun.
So,
did you want to bring a Smoke Monster in here, maybe, or did you want to come in, or is he just gonna watch him?
Sure, yeah. It's your stream.
Yeah. No, it was pretty fun bringing him in because we were doing. What was it like? He came on your last CDI stream, right? Was when he came on yours?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, Smoke Monster, man, if you want to jump on, let us know. It doesn't let you watch it out where you lost. Because apparently you run out of time. Hey, lady, how you doing?
Oh, hey, yeah.
Good. How are
Lady
you?
is here.
Yeah, do you still have Smoke Monster's information?
I should.
Yeah.
Let me take a look.
Activated Complex just quoted a ancient wrestler from the Olympic Games in 450 BCE, before Common Era.
I added it.
All right.
Hello.
How you
Hey, man,
doing?
how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here. I'm just hanging out watching a stream, and then I get invited to join in.
Well, I guess I think you made the mistake of taking Yahel's invite, so I guess you're kind of on one of the lists to join mine or his, I guess.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I forgot I was doing something the other day when he invited me again.
Oh yeah, was it what was your last stream?
it?
Yeah, what was it?
Was
Was you guys doing like we were just doing a random arcade stream or something like that?
No, I think you did like the wrestling stuff on there.
Oh no, it was Parsec. Yeah, so like Yahel and I were playing this one.
Oh
Right?
yeah. So we played Blitz
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
we played some Mario Kart or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'll do arcade mode, I guess, or no, exhibition. That's the one where you randomly teleport and like fight under the ring and random
Well,
crap like
when
that.
you play,
Yeah.
yeah. So they just don't have like 30 wrestlers as part of the roster.
So
But they
who?
were still like, we're gonna do, a game based on the Royal Rumble. Which, Ian, I don't know if you know, but it requires 30 wrestlers.
That seems
So
made.
that's
That,
why
that
I'm
seems.
really
That
out of my
seems.
element
That
here.
seems made up and arbitrary. I don't know what you're talking about. So what's
Well-
funny is, so apparently X-Pac to me when I saw him like with the long hair and the mustache, it kind of looks like Yahel to me for some reason. I don't know why. Hey, Binary Bond, how you doing? Yeah.
I followed wrestling like when I was in short pants for a little while, and like Jake the Snake was like my guy, and then
Okay.
I sold out and went with Ultimate Warrior for a while. I mean, I was pretty young.
I thought Ultimate Warrior was kind of cool until I started
my
looking at
first
started looking up about the the person he became later in life, and I'm like, oh dear.
I think I liked the way he dressed back then. Like that was pretty much.
Oh
how I
yeah,
wanted to
but I
model
think he
himself.
was totally ripped on the roids back in the.
No, that was all natural.
It was
guys.
all natural, and I don't know. I just remember him having a comic book series where like the random confetti he tied to his biceps apparently talked in the comics.
That's awesome.
Oh god,
Oh, it's pronounced,
that
it's
guy
pronounced
was-
pack.
it was crazy. Yeah, it's
Wait.
X-Pac.
No, okay, so PAX is Pax, which is Roman. Okay, I'm never mind. I'm done. I shouldn't.
The gentleman's name is X-Pac.
Okay, but it's spelled in the game PAX though.
P-A-C.
Was it PAC? I thought it was the PAX
Yeah.
on the game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I read it wrong, or
Ian,
I'm just
Ian, when are
blind.
you gonna be hip like the rest of us?
That's never gonna happen, ever.
Smoke Monster, you should do an expose on Ian not being hip for your channel.
That'd be
Maybe
way-
turn your
that'd be way too easy to do.
Just like a
Expose
mix of
series.
just
Yeah.
pronouncing things wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like-
yeah. But at least with my voice, it sounds nice when I when I don't pronounce them correctly. Like an empanada, an empanda.
I just blame
Say it
all
that
my
way.
mispronunciations on regional dialects.
It was interesting. I had a guy who was talking to me. He's like, "Hey, are you from Minnesota?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Your accent." I'm like, "What accent?" And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, pretty sure I have a Western United States accent, which is no accent. Thought that was interesting.
So are you guys into I've got the WWF WrestleFest arcade PCB.
Oh,
You guys like that?
is it like a kind of like 16-bit sprite type thing?
Yeah, it's like a pretty powerful game.
I think I remember
It's
that
like a huge crowd pleaser. Like every one of my like old friends who comes into contact with that is like crazy
Oh,
for it.
Interesting. This ageist. No, yeah, WrestleFest is awesome.
one. I think I remember.
Yeah.
Is that the one? Is there a Sega
It's a
CD
cheap
port of that?
PCB.
Is there a Sega CD port of that?
I don't think that there's a port of it at all. There's like an Xbox 360 version, but they did something to the graphics with it.
Oh, okay.
That's not so pretty. I think Joe from On the Stick might have featured it in a video recently. I can't remember if it was WrestleFest or same name, different game, maybe.
See here. Apparently, Dade is saying Ian is a jobber. Yahel is a heel. What is a jobber? You gotta educate me on these.
You had no idea what a jobber.
What is a jobber?
A jobber is like, especially like in the 80s and early 90s. You know how like there would always be guys like with a name like Hulk Hogan or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They would like be like a no-name guy, like a local wrestler guy that you only saw like once in a blue moon. That's a jobber. The guys that always lose.
Oh, bummer.
They're there to do the job, aka be pinned.
Ooh, that's a shame. My poor ego.
So there's a remake of WrestleFest on iOS.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I called you a jobber.
Yeah, it's not
Is
pretty
it,
though.
So is a jobber like I guess in the UFC circles that's called like a hometown hero. So that's like a equivalent or no?
I guess. I mean, except you know, wrestling is real and the UFC is fake, so it's you know.
Oh,
That's the one big difference.
yeah.
Yeah. It's usually like a local guy that wrestles like independents, especially like in the 80s and 90s. There was always like a real out of shape guy almost every time. He would literally get like a move in or like a punch, and then he would just lose get beat up the rest of the match.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel like
These days they're called enhancement talent.
Wait, time up? What? Oh, did I not pin him in time? Oh, wait. X-Pac. Oh, P-A-C. Okay. Oh, okay. I had full on board dyslexia, so X-Pac, so my mind was just swapping the C and the X. Okay. So that's what was happening there. But, so Smoke Monster, how's your night going, man?
Pretty good.
All right.
I'm just doing gaming stuff here, going around doing my little things I do, working on packs, organizing things.
Okay.
Typical day for me. I was expecting to have a Nintendo DSi come in today, but it's one day behind. That was going to be my fun.
Yeah, the only hardware fun I had recently was, I think, you know Stry, right? Yeah, hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to him at like a local shop had a Sega 32X for like under $100, so I basically picked it up for him and just did the whole like basic, what would you call it, hardware maintenance on it, where like all the problems it has, you just go through the things and do that. You sent that to him, so that was fun. That's the only really fun thing I've done recently with like retro hardware.
Nice. What's the wrestling game on 32X?
What?
There's one on it.
There's a WWF
yeah, there might be
something.
Isn't the arcade like the WWF the arcade on there?
Yeah, I think that one is on there. Yeah, I think didn't Shinobi do like a full video on that or something?
Yeah, with like going over all the differences between like all the different ports.
I don't know. It's kind of funny, like where he'll. I just love the way he does it, and I'm like, yeah, I feel like the 32X will score just high, just because it's just good.
Yeah, I'm a proponent of the 32X in a world where everyone is sort of against it out there, popularity-wise.
Well, it's just one of those things where, like, I guess it would fall into that category of the AVGN made a negative video about it a decade ago, and people are still just sticking to that whole
exactly.
That whole
I mean,
stick.
like, I think the 32X is fine. My only beef with it is how cumbersome it is to like set up. You know?
Yeah. My issue with it is that like flash carts, you can't get to the menus and stuff through it, which makes it annoying because I'm always disconnecting it and reconnecting.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's usually disconnected.
Well, isn't with the EverDrive Pro that's coming out can do 32X and Sega CD, right?
Yeah, they support the games, so you can flash if you have a 32X connected, you can flash the game.
Yeah, very underhanded of you.
Right.
What was that?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Wait, what?
You lose like SMS support and the menu support in game and save states and all, like basically all the advanced features you lose when a 32X is connected, just because of the way it works, I guess.
I guess all those what, just extra connection points?
Yeah, it's like it doesn't have, like you could modify the 32X and like connect the pins or something, I think, to get SMS working again, but I haven't done that.
That's why I'm still a big fan of the Sega Neptune concept, which would have been the all-in-one 32X.
Yeah.
I feel like that should have been the direction they went, but Joe Miller was like, nah, that's stupid. I'm like, come on, Joe, why? Why did you make the decision in the mid-90s?
So Smoke Monster, I'm surprised that you like. Do you play on like real hardware still a lot, or just whenever there isn't like a Mr. Core?
My setup is like, so I collect hardware, like going back forever, and I'm like a real hardware guy. Like that was my thing. Like I never did really, outside of like having RetroArch on my PSP or Vita, that was like my only real emulation. But Mr. has sort of changed that. I have like 2 PVMs beside me, and on one of them I've got the Mr., and on the other one I have like a switcher for 2 different things. So I usually have an arcade game, and like right now I have the Genesis plugged into it. So I don't have like a really ornate setup, even though I have like probably like 50 consoles, like just boxed up. I never really got like a G-SCART switch like I wanted, and now I don't have any space, so it's like hard to get more than one thing out at a time here. But yeah, Mr. is mostly like my go-to for most things.
Nice. Yeah, I think once, so I'm probably going to be, if everything goes as according to our plan, in like 7 months or so, moving back to Tampa. So I'm avoiding trying to like purchase things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
'Cause it's just something else to ship, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I think once we get back to Florida, I'm going to probably look into a Mr. And I don't know, there's some consoles that like I like, but I rarely play, like 3DO and stuff like that, where, you know, if there's like a good FPGA solution, I think I'd rather go that route at this point.
That's how I am too. It's like, I don't know. It's for most things, it's a lot, especially as a streamer, it's really nice. The Mr.
Sure.
It's just so easy. And then there's a lot of consoles where like I'll never have the hardware. I just gave up hope on it. Like I know Vanessa has like X68000 and all this cool stuff.
Oh wow.
But like I gave up I gave up the search for that. And I'll just wait for Mr. And Mr. has like MSX on it. I'll probably never have an MSX.
The only thing it's really missing for me is, of course, the CDI core. But
yeah,
sorry,
hey, I tried. I think you'll actually
figured,
see that eventually. I really do.
I think someone will do it eventually because there'll be nothing else left to do.
Yeah, like right now it's all low-hanging fruit.
This random obscure take of Mappy on the arcade or the Philips CDI. I'm gonna do the Mappy
I'm willing
first.
to pay somebody to do it.
I mean, I honestly think that if one of these people with Patreons going picked up CDI, I think it would be a good multi-core. Any multi-core to me is like money, because yeah, arcade games are great and I love it, but it's a lot of work, and then when you're done, a lot of them you just have one game. Whereas with a CDI, you get that core going, you've got the entire library. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll be making it happen one way or the other.
Oh god,
I think
kidnap somebody.
just hold him at gunpoint and just like force him to code for your CDI.
But the gun is the blue CDI.
The giant little Magnum thing.
I was saying, I went to a Smashing Pumpkins concert like 5 or 6 years ago, and Billy Corgan is like associated with whatever wrestling group that is.
NWA, he owns
it. Yeah, and he had pro wrestlers handing out flyers and stuff at the concert, which was kind of cool. I talked to I don't remember who it was. I talked to one of them for a little while because nobody was really doing anything. So it was like there was like a swarm of professional wrestlers coming out in their garb, handing out flyers for shows and wrestling stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty typical for like smaller promotions, which NWA is now. I guess they're gonna like fold up shop actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely Venezuela, absolutely.
Oh god. Copy. Good way to throw your back out, Jesus.
Yeah, I have so little space here in San Diego that so my life fit into 2 of those moving cube things when I moved out west, and like one of them basically just had to go straight to a storage unit. I just have no space here at all. It's probably the same way in Tampa, I'm guessing. Or at least you don't have like the luxury of like extra bedrooms like in the Midwest where I was.
So what took you out to San Diego? I guess the retro scene, or?
No, we were living in Brazil for 3 years.
Oh.
And we just had sort of like a 3-month like 3 months in advance of moving, we figured out, we're like, oh, we've met all the visa requirements for my wife to move back to the U.S. now, because her the scholarship that she had come to the U.S. on previously for 5 years, the government dissolved it, and so they had done away with all of their requirements to stay for would have been 5 years, and so then once they dissolved that, she had no obligations for us to stay there. So we just moved back to the U.S. and we're like, we basically had to put our finger on the map, and it was San Diego.
Oh, so you just did the spin the globe thing and just wherever you land, right?
Yeah, we just kind of weighed out different places. We really wanted to come to California because it's where the most academic jobs are for her to apply for.
Oh, okay.
And San Diego had actually like the biggest cluster when we were applying. There were like 5 or 6 jobs here that she was applying for, so it was a good place to like set up shop for jobs.
Oh, that's cool.
That's sort of how it happened. It was sort of like we could have moved back to where all our stuff was in Illinois, but there was really nothing tying us to it anymore, so there was really no need to.
Yeah, I've just been in Idaho for a number of years, so I guess I have, like, you said the whole, like, not having space thing. I'm like, well, I live in a giant house here in Idaho, so I'm like,
Yeah.
my wall of, like, 7 CRTs just to the left here.
Yeah, I feel like I was spoiled for space everywhere I was before. And I was in Madison for a few years. I had about 2.5 times as much space as I do here. So, and that at the time didn't feel like a lot of space, because in Illinois it's like I had spare rooms in my apartments. You know, and it was not bad.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to going back to my house in Florida to have some little bit more room.
Where are you right now?
The CDI games. We're in Seattle. Well, just outside of Seattle.
Ooh, nice. What brought you there?
My girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
But now we're both like, let's go back.
Let's go back to Florida.
We looked at like jobs too, like working at corporate. Well, she already had one, and I snagged the promotion to make me a corporate shill for the company I work for, and
Nice.
But yeah, we'll be heading back hopefully the next 7 months or so.
I spent like a week in Seattle for my cousin's wedding in like 2015 maybe. It was awesome. Loved it there.
I used to go back.
It's a cool city.
I used to go to Seattle constantly when PAX was actually a thing you could go to.
You can still go to oh, you mean like right now you can't go to
you can't really do anything for the most part right now, but I mean like back when like what was it, Penny Arcade Expo, their whole PAX thing like that they had in Seattle back in the day. It was really cool.
I'm sorry, go ahead again.
No, well, yeah. Well, I guess, for you now that you have over 50,000 subscribers, you can do the whole media badge thing. But like back in the before time, I guess, you had to buy badges, and they used to only be like $30 for like a weekend, and so it was like a pretty great event to go to for that. But it eventually like got to the point where like they upped the price, where it was like $60 a day for individual badges or $75 for the weekend. But like unless you were like paying a dude to camp the weekend badges for you, it was just like you end up paying like basically like $600 just to go to the convention for the weekend.
So Lainey and I both went last year, and I mean I did the media badge thing, but she like they were sold out for everything else. She just like went with me and like bought like the badge from like there were tons of people just like selling them in front of the convention center, and it was like cheaper, right, than like the regular.
Yeah, so I think what we did was I think I had actually got like a day badge or something off of like Facebook Market or Craigslist or something like that.
That's right.
And then we went down there and people were selling like the weekend passes for like the same price that I had just got this one off of Facebook for. So I was like, what the fuck? So I just ended up, like, the guy bought the one for me for like $20 or something. And then I got like the weekend pass.
How?
And just ended up going there for like the next 3 years.
And then you sold it.
And then I sold it.
And
like,
then,
oh no, I was gonna sell it, but I don't know.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You ended up not selling it.
Whoa. Unavailable. Appreciate the donation, man. Really appreciate that.
Somebody else with no messaging and that.
Wow.
I stamp on my earlier comment. That means I want you to do
Yeah,
your way.
yeah. Well, definitely appreciate the donation. Unavailable to MP4. That's always a nightmare of mine when I'm video editing. I'm like, oh god, what's going on? VLC can't even see this. Ah. Yeah. Keep drinking wine and just keep wrestling with this guy in a Captain America leotard.
Venezuela, yeah, I wish it wasn't so expensive here, but I love it. I understand the wrestling's gaming's hatred of the traffic, but I live close to work, so it's not so bad. It's not. I don't really mind the traffic per se, but so I mean, it's just we have like our family back in Florida. Listen, we don't Florida. Not the. Sorry if anybody in the chat. I think Jeremy's still in Florida. If anyone's in Florida, but not the brightest group of people. Sure, you have like some smart people there, but overall, it's not exactly a collection of people you want to be around.
like Florida man is the thing.
Yeah, Florida man's a thing for a reason. But yeah, so we still have our families there, and like my parents are like really getting up there in age, and like she has some family that's out there that's aging as well. So, and I have my house out there still that I've just been renting out. So we still have like a lot of ties back there. So at least for the time being, it just makes more sense for us to go back. That smile on Edge was creepy as fuck.
But so was your wife like teaching down there? Smoke Monster?
Oh, yeah, she was working. She was at the Federal University in Porto Alegre. She was a professor.
Oh wow.
Well, she had come to the U.S. on a full scholarship to get her PhD, and then we went back, and then she worked at the URGS, the local university in Porto Alegre.
Okay.
We both do archaeology.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're
nice.
We're working on a book right now. We're negotiating the contract, and then we have 2 articles that we're working on.
So you both do
critique of archaeology, and one of them is like a pro repatriation paper.
Oh, okay.
Support of like Guarani Indian rights.
Yeah. So you're both archaeologists. I mean, you're both like versions of Indiana Jones.
Pretty much.
Just fedoras and whips.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay. I heard his teeth grinding together when you said that.
He's like, why does everybody ask this? No.
I was going to go with Bosch and Picard.
Oh yeah, Picard.
Actually,
yeah, Picard was. Yeah.
He's like an executive at the Society for American Archaeology now. What's his name? Harrison Ford. So I guess
he's like, it belongs in a museum. Everything.
Yeah, I guess he's making up for his sins or something.
Oh, good. Hey, history of how we
I
play.
know,
how you doing, man?
I mean, I'd punch in some Nazi teeth right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, but I mean, the Indiana Jones thing, it's a valid critique of archaeology. There was a lot of time where all they did was go in and steal stuff. So it's really... It's just only in recent memory that it's kind of not like that.
Well, what's funny is, so there was a Boise State University when I went through the history program there to get my degree, who had like a lot of really funny stories where he was held at gunpoint in Turkey because he was like jacking some artifacts he was trying to steal.
Hilarious.
And other people wanted them, so he was like had to like jump out like a 2-story window into a river to like get the artifacts out of the country or something along those lines.
God.
And I'm like, wow, archaeology is a really psychotic profession at this point in time.
Yeah, it's really dangerous.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the Peruvian archaeologists always have stories.
Yeah.
I guess it depends where you are.
Yeah, but it was
probably
really
not as exciting in, Cahokia Mountains in Illinois.
Yeah. But then, so my father, when he was alive in the mid-'90s and in the '80s, he was doing some work in I think South Dakota, and him and this other like archaeologist got into like literal fistfights over like I think it was like a 10,000-year-old like peace pipe or something like that they literally got in a fist fight about, and he fled over state lines so they couldn't get it. Something along those lines.
God.
Yeah, it was nuts when he was telling me these like hearing these stories. I'm like, wow. So there's apparently a guy named Richard Leakey that if you ever run into him in the archaeology community, just avoid him.
Oh, I know of Richard Leakey. He's paleoanthropology.
Yeah. So avoid him apparently because you'll
He's
get
an old timer.
Yeah, you get in a fist fight with him over a 10,000-year-old peace pipe. Just saying.
Hey guys, what is Rikishi doing? He's just swiveling his hips and like taunting.
What is going? I don't know what's going on over there.
He's over there taunting though, and this man is having a stroke.
Yeah.
He is hallucinating. I don't know what is going on.
Yeah, but History of How We Play. Speaking of a book, me too running technical hurdles. Oh, okay.
I've got one book on Amazon, but it's not related to archaeology, and I can't reveal what it is without doxing myself. But my wife is writing the book. It's gonna be like a summary of her PhD, basically. Like it's gonna be a manual, kind of a handbook for analysis.
Oh.
Not really like
Like page to page.
Yeah, not something you read on the toilet or anything.
Guys, I'm very concerned about Rikishi.
He's just analyzing the crowd.
For some reason, when I hear Rikishi, I hear Richard Leakey. I don't know why. This is what I was hearing. But that's
dressed like every '90s like goth rock star.
I mean, he usually
It's
didn't,
not a dress. It's what'd they call him?
I mean, he usually didn't have that skirt on. He usually like took that off, and well, he was wearing a lot less, and
That's almost
his cheeks would be hanging out. Yeah, like his cheeks would be hanging out, basically. Did you guys ever see when Rikishi would like literally get it, throw a guy into the corner, guy would fall down, and he would rub his ass cheeks in his face? That was one of his moves.
I recall that.
Hope they got paid extra for that.
I think it was called the stink face.
The stink face.
Yeah.
Oh man, I literally think my second monitor is like gonna catch fire. It's got all these psychotic like artifacts going on in it. That is pretty cool. No, one of my favorite hobbies is to go thrifting, and I found this like 27-inch monitor that I've had it for a couple of years, and I think it somehow for whatever reason stayed on for like a week or two straight. So I think that's probably what led to its demise this evening. But I figured I'd just share that with you.
I figured it was just the heat from being in the same room as a console as powerful as the CDI.
Well, so the CDI is
Although
in the room.
CDI never gets warm.
That's directly above me, and I thought about playing that this evening, but I didn't have a weightlifting belt handy to take it off the shelf. So I didn't want to bring it downstairs this evening.
Name a console that runs cooler than the CDI.
Can't be done because the sheer amount of like metal casing and like heat sink and that system is not matched by any other console.
I've never peeked inside of one.
There's
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing.
There's a lot of void space in that console.
I know, Ian, you played it longer, like in a single session than I have, but even before, like you had your 8-hour one, like one time I had like a 6-hour session or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just kind of hit me like, oh man, like this, this is an old console from the 90s. I should like go check to see if it's hot or something, And it was like cool to the fucking touch, like it just came out of the refrigerator. It's like, alrighty. Like I've had VCRs that don't run this cool.
Well, yeah, the freaking power supply on the CDI has that just enormous freaking. So I'm gonna move my my chat window off the monitor that's failing right now.
Hey, speaking of monitors, have you guys ever seen a Dreamcast hooked up to a VGA monitor?
Oh, it looks great.
Yeah, it's like a thing of beauty.
No, I remember, like, the funny thing,
Glorious.
I remember I went to, I rented a beach house with a bunch of friends, and I brought my Dreamcast, and I brought the VGA connection and all that, but I didn't bring a TV, but I found the TV there had a VGA connection, and I tried to hook it up and like, show them, they're like just making fun of me the entire weekend, that the fact, like, oh, it would look so much better if it was VGA, because I ended up using the S-Video. But then, like, later, when I was at my house showing them through a VGA connection, they're like, well, that actually does look better. And I'm like, I fucking told you! God! Just giving me shit the entire time.
Yeah, I had an LG years ago, flat screen, and it accepted Dreamcast VGA, and it looked really good.
Oh.
And then I updated the firmware on it, and it completely killed the VGA port on it. I mean, like, it was unusable, and it was a disaster for me.
Damn.
Because that was like what I played all my Dreamcast on in my bedroom. Even worked with like a scanline generator. Looks so good.
We're gonna talk about.
I said I would never get another LG, but now I have another LG. So I guess I didn't.
Never again!
Yeah.
It's weird. Like the commentators are just like a digitized picture. Like they don't move. They don't do anything.
Well, when, like, what is it? Based on the current quarantine requirements, wrestling was doing the whole, like, empty stadium thing. I was really disappointed they didn't do the whole, like, just a bunch of 2D cutouts in the stands. I was like, come on, it would be just like a wrestling game. Why didn't they do that? Would have been perfect.
Truly a missed opportunity.
Truly the way to go.
What other games you got?
Oh, God, we've been playing this for, like, a while now, haven't we?
Yeah.
Someone requested Power Stone a while ago, so let me switch to that. Hang on.
Oh, this was big with my friends.
So you know what's
Power
really
Stone.
weird? I didn't even have know of anybody growing up that had Power Stone.
We had so my friends and I all got burned discs for a Dreamcast. So we had like by the time it happened, Dreamcast was already over. That was like when I was in college. And so I think each one of us got like a stack of basically every popular game back then. That was before you could burn them yourself, really, because burners were expensive. But you could buy burned seat games from people for like $2 or $3 each. And so I think that's probably how we found Power Stone. I don't even remember ever seeing a real actual Dreamcast game amongst my friends. They were all just CDRs.
Oh, poor Sega.
Yeah. It was like just cracked open way too early. But our main games were like Marvel vs. Capcom and Resident Evil. And Power Stone and Power Stone 2 were big for multiplayer. But man, yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom, for whatever reason, we were just crazy about that. It was kind of create nuts.
Do you have a favorite character you use here, Ian?
Oh, for Power Stone, no. I'm terrible with just about all of them. So I couldn't give you an accurate assessment of what character is the best. I just remember playing, I think it was Power Stone 2 with a bunch of buddies of mine, just having a great time with it. Speedrun of Rumble aborted. Yeah. See, Binder Bond says I use the SC with SCART cable and a cheap SCART HDMI adapter box.
Vanessa's got a CRT projector.
Oh, goddamn.
Awesome.
That must look great.
And you have to reinforce your ceiling to install that.
Gotta find at least
Things are tough.
two or three cross studs to like mount into to make sure it doesn't rip out of the ceiling. Jose Cruz, how you doing, man? Yeah, pretty much every weekend stream I do is pretty much always around this time on Saturdays and Fridays. So yeah, I guess watch for that.
Were you guys like big into Dreamcast? I feel like we got into it after the Dreamcast was already over.
Same here.
I had bought my Dreamcast around launch and bought a couple of games, but I didn't really invest too heavily into it. And I didn't really come back around to the Dreamcast until 2 or 3 years ago when I started buying a lot of games for it.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, like I'm like, man, I freaking miss Sega.
It's like an arcade system to me. It's so powerful. Dreamcast nowadays.
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm like, man, I feel like the Dreamcasters are better than what it got.
Yeah, definitely.
I do find it funny though that like people will still say it's underrated. Like, is it? Like everybody loves the Dreamcast.
I
Like,
thought, yeah, I think it's everybody loves the Dreamcast. I never hear anybody saying the Dreamcast is horrible, or I've never heard of the Dreamcast. Like nowadays, it's pretty well.
yeah,
It's pretty
I saw
mainstream.
a few videos recently from a few like big YouTubers and about underrated consoles, and it was one of them. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess underrated at the time, maybe, but I don't know. PS2 hype just killed everything.
Yeah. You couldn't compete with PlayStations.
No,
One
man.
or two. Really, I mean, Dreamcast it became the Xbox to me. I mean, to me, there's a direct line from like Master System all the way to the current Xbox. You know, from Xbox or Master System, Genesis, Saturn, Dreamcast, Xbox. And I just feel like an Xbox was everybody's like, oh, is there going to be a Dreamcast 2? It's like that was the Xbox. I mean, it's basically a Dreamcast 2.
Well, yeah, I think the book Service Games actually explores that, where they talk about like apparently Sega and Xbox had meetings about making the Xbox reverse compatible, but this didn't happen.
Yeah, I've heard stuff like that through the years.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's no question looking at its library.
Oh yeah.
And even the way it feels to me, it feels like Dreamcast-y.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, even like the button layout on the Xbox is surprisingly similar to the Dreamcast controller. Just an added extra S video or extra analog stick.
That Saturn 3D pad to the Dreamcast to the Duke was like, you know, a natural evolution. I really like the Xbox, like 360 Xbox One style controller. I feel like it's like the perfect ergonomics to me. Even if I hate the D-pad on the Xbox 360. But I trace that back too to like this. It feels like an evolution of the Saturn to me for whatever reason. The Saturn Model 2 pad.
Yeah, I don't know, do you ever watch Genovi's channel at all?
Yeah, I like Genovi a lot.
Yeah, because he did a whole video where he explored the patent add-ons that Sega had filed for with the 3D controller. I thought it was just absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
There's something going on my street outside. I don't know. Is that what are you hearing?
I heard somebody yell something. Blah, blah, blah.
I don't know. Yeah. Usually, like when I'm streaming, I've got like noise suppression that gets rid of the street noise. I live in sort of a popular area. People getting out. Who knows what they're up to? I guess it's not a bar because they're all closed right now.
Yeah, I find I live in a suburb, so when I hear something outside, I'm like, what is going on? That's quite interesting.
They just opened everything back up down here, and so my beach had been closed for like over a month. I'm like, I live on a little peninsula, it's called Mission Beach in San Diego. I'm in South Mission Beach, and so I'm like 3 houses down from the ocean and like 4 from the bay, and they just reopened the beach a few weeks ago, so it's just been like spring break constantly all day every day since then, because people are making up for their lost time or something.
Yeah, that's like Idaho's been interesting because there's a whole like big shutdown here. Because I think Washington and Oregon were doing the shutdown, and Idaho kind of followed suit pretty quickly after. But like the second they started opening everything up, Idaho did pretty much the same thing with a bunch of people just going to the parks and camping sites and all that. Mm-hmm. So kind of just that whole expansion thing that happened there.
Yeah, Activated Complex is asking if I did the D-pad fix for the 360. Yeah, that's a great mod. I mean, I've done that to all my 360 controllers. And it makes it, I mean, like, you can't fix the Xbox 3 or 360's D-pad completely, but that does make it nice and, like, a little clickier. Much better than, like, the mushy stock setup to me.
Yeah, I think there was only like one game on the 360 I used the D-pad for, and that was like Mortal Kombat 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was really into the 360 for a while. So I did a lot of 2D stuff on it. I really used to like this controller called the PDP Versus,
What was that
which
one?
is like it's like a clicky. It's fully mechanical. So it's like kind of like a Neo Geo CD pad.
Mm-hmm.
The D-pad on it is mechanical, and then the buttons are clicky. And I was all about that. But then like I went back to the regular 360 controller, and I noticed I was doing better, like in games. I was like, so even though I like the way it feels, it's just apparently I wasn't getting the same kind of performance out of it. Weirdly enough.
Oh god, it's kind of funny. So the other day, I don't know if you're familiar with the Microsoft Sidewinder 2 controller or Dual Strike.
I remember the Sidewinder is kind of like a stealth bomber shaped controller.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you've got?
Well,
there?
yeah,
The
so
one
yeah,
with
so I
the
just pulled
middle?
this one out. Yeah, so like there was this like weird Microsoft controller I found
I
not
was
too long
just
ago.
looking at those the other day.
I don't know. I need to actually like plug it in and see how it works with an FPS or something like that. But this controller is just really, really psychotic feeling. It's got this really odd axis ball in the center, but it's not like a full axis though. It's only like
That would be sweet for
40
Descent or something.
Yeah, I think Descent. I think someone was saying Descent would be a great way for it. But yeah, it's like
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
you go. Yeah.
I was going to say, I just ordered from RAFnet Technologies. He makes a game port to USB converter to use those old controllers on modern. That one might be USB.
Yeah, this one is USB.
But
Yeah.
like the old flight sticks and stuff with like zero latency basically on a PC. And then I went and got on eBay for $25 what's it called? Thrustmaster Pro all metal, like it looks like it came out of a tank, like their highest end joystick. I got it for $25, and then I got that adapter coming. I'm gonna play some Chuck Yeager on the Mister.
Oh shit! Yeah,
And the
Chuck
DOS
Yeager.
core. That's my plan.
Gotta love Chuck Yeager.
I fired it up the other day, and like apparently you can play it with the mouse, and that just does not work.
On Chuck Yeager, did you ever play the F4 Phantom and just stare at that smiley face in the console? You remember that at all, or no?
No, what's that?
Oh, so the F4 Phantom. If you flew that one on Chuck Yeager, you just stare at the console in cockpit mode. It just looked like a giant smiley face. At least that was on the Mac version. I don't know about the PC one, but that was just how Chuck Yeager looked.
I want to check out. I fired it up for like 30 seconds. There's an Amiga Chuck Yeager advanced flight training, and it looked really good.
Oh,
I mean, compared to like the DOS Chuck Yeager leaves a little bit to be desired nowadays. I will admit that.
Well, I guess I don't know. For me, like I never. I guess like probably the first flight simulator I played really was like the DOS the Mac version of Chuck Yeager. And so that one I thought was just crazy looking. Where I'm like, man, that's amazing. But it was just kind of funny how the F4, but the F4 Phantom just had the this giant smiley face just on the cockpit that just stared at you the entire time.
Yeah, I got like apparently at some Christmas in the early '90s or whatever, I had gotten Chuck Yeager and Activated Complex is mentioning the CH flight stick. I had a CH flight yoke. I don't remember which one it was. But man, it blew me away and all my friends. I mean, it was like, we were playing on game consoles at the time, and then to see that, you felt like you were in a VR simulator or something back then. It was crazy.
You're like,
advanced.
my God.
And then I continued to use that controller for like everything for like 10 years. Like every racing game that it worked in, definitely overused it. I think I had rudder controls too. I was looking at pictures of those and I was like, I think I had those.
There
I
were.
don't really remember. Like my memory is not that
I know
good.
for at least the Microsoft Sidewinder joystick that came out, it had full rudder control because it had that whole like side to side, left and right yoke ability on that one. Let's see. I cannot say his name. Because he was 16 says Berenstein Bears. Apparently he's having
I remember those games.
I guess you might be having a Mandela effect thing going on.
My neighbor the first computers I used were my neighbors mostly, and they had lots of kids over there, and they had a PC with like Bernstein Bears and SimCity over there, King's Quest games. I remember playing at their house.
So when I was growing up, my dad had a 386, and then he upgraded to a 486 with an external 1XC ROM drive, which I thought was just amazing. But I don't, for me, it was like then I went and got like Pac Bell after that. I don't know what.
That's what we always had.
Yeah, I don't know what system architecture that Pac Bell was after that, but I knew it had like more than a 1X CD-ROM. But it was, I don't know.
Yeah, we had a few Packard Bells in a row, and yeah, that was my first CD-ROM computer, and it just blew my mind back then.
So your Activated Complex said Jane's World War II 688i were awesome. Got any of the Jane's freaking aviation games were fantastic back then.
Yeah, we had my first computer was an AST, like all-in-one, monitor and whatever, 486 DX2, 66 megahertz, double speed CD-ROM drive, 4 megabytes of RAM. I think I've told you this before.
Oh yeah. I think you talked about Wing Commander a lot.
Yeah, I played it a lot on there, but like I remember it came with like a 420 megabyte hard drive. And I remember distinctly telling my father, because he was like, oh, he doesn't know anything about computers then or now. But so he was like, oh, is this enough or whatever? I was like, Dad, I will never be able to fill up this hard drive.
Yeah.
420 megabytes, I'm set for life.
Definitely.
A few years later, I was like, fuck, this thing is full.
Yeah, I had to go over to like friends' houses to see Wing Commander. They had computers more like that. I was usually getting, my dad had a veterinary office, and we would get whatever, like he would get a new computer every couple of years, and then I would get the old one. So it's a little bit behind, but it still felt like super advanced compared to like console games.
Right.
Oh, so John Rogers mentioned Leisure Suit Larry. That got me and all my friends in trouble one summer. Because we had been copying those discs and playing Leisure Suit Larry a lot, and then one of my friend's moms had a shit fit over it, called all of our moms, and we got in trouble, 1 for copying games, and then 2 for this, what they thought was like hardcore porn.
Oh my god.
This the first one where if you skip the first chick, you don't get syphilis or whatever.
Are they still making Leisure Suit Larry games?
I think what was the last one they made? It was like Leisure Suit Larry in Hollywood or something like that. That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I used to watch the Crow channel, and he would play a lot of Leisure Suit Larry games, but I can't remember. Like, because I only played the first 2, I think, myself.
Yeah, because you had the first one, and then you had another one that you had like a Bon Voyage was like a cruise ship one, and then you had like.
You think a video like on the history of Leisure Suit Larry would get demonetized?
Maybe.
I don't know, that would be awesome. You should do that.
I don't know if I want to waste my time.
Waste.
Plus,
it's definitely not a game that's like fit for the modern world. That's for sure.
I haven't played any of those games in so long too. I'd have to go back and go through some of the catalog.
Well, the funniest thing to me,
sure
let me tell you a story really quick here. So my brother, he started a tech support company, and he took out like a gigantic like bank loan to start this company of his. And he bought a bunch of hardware to start it. But and the thing that amused me the most about him starting this company was he dumped a bunch of money into like this hardware, but then he just bought a bunch of video games. He was just playing those on it. And I'm like, hey, maybe you should I'm like a young guy at this point. I'm like, hey, maybe you should, do company stuff and make money. And he's like, nah. And he just played video games. But it's like, I just remember having like a palm top computer that like he could play Missile Command on. But then he had this like really expensive laptop he was playing like Leisure Suit Larry on, which I thought was just the most amusing thing. But that's just a memory that randomly came up involving Leisure Suit Larry.
Hey guys, there is a Leisure Suit Larry game for the Switch.
What?
Really?
It's called Leisure Suit Larry. Wet Dreams Don't Dry.
Wet Dreams Don't Dry.
Wow,
oh,
Nintendo, how you've changed your stance.
It's on Steam too.
Years.
It came out in a couple years ago, 2018.
I have to say, these games will not meet Nintendo's strict criteria, and we will not allow them on our platform.
Is it
Howard
like
Lincoln.
pixel arty, or is it like amiibo art style?
It's like cartoony art.
Okay.
I don't know. It almost seems like it might be like a visual novel kind of. No, let me see. It's hard to tell from this.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna pour myself another drink. 1 sec.
Nice.
But yeah, it seems like it's still a point-and-click adventure game. But yeah, Leisure Suit Larry still going strong.
Nice. You mentioned Mister earlier. I spent like a whole day getting back into DOS the other day because I finally got around to setting up the. It has a 486 core.
Mm-hmm.
I put that in quotes because it's actually more like a 286 or very, very primitive 386. It's very limited. But it does play like really older games, like SimCity works on it.
Nice.
Castles and Castles 1 worked, Castles 2 didn't. Chuck Yeager worked. And so it was really, I think Leisure Suit Larry 1 would probably run on it. It's sort of like 20 megahertz-ish is sort of around what it is. And then the games I couldn't get running, then I started looking on the Amiga, and I'm like, oh, the Amiga got these games. So Castles 2, like if I want to play that, I can go into the Minimig core.
Mm.
And so I've been I even got a mouse the other day just for PC games for my Mister, because my wife keeps stealing mine for Bejeweled. Every time I want to use it, I have to go in the other room and unplug it.
Yeah, nice. I didn't even know like they were working on like cores to do like PC games on Mister.
It's like it's such like this is a core that was ported from some other system. I think it was like a standalone FPGA project for it's called AO486, and it's like a huge like battleship of a core, I guess. So it's gonna require like years of work before we're playing. Like Vanessa just mentioned SimCity 2000. Yeah, that would be the dream if we can get to that point. But that'll require what? SimCity 2000, like 40 or 60 megahertz.
So do you think this core will be finished before the CDI one is even started?
No, I bet you'll have a fully working CDI core before they get this one up to that point, from what I understand. I don't really know, though. I'm just making that up. Yeah, you're much better off with DOSBox. Even if they were to get DOSBox like running from the ARM side, that would probably happen before we'll see like a really beefed out like 486 core.
Nice. So what was your go-to console then as a kid, or your favorite console?
So we didn't have a whole lot. I got an NES by the time the NES, like a year before the Super Nintendo came out. I had an NES and I had like 4 or 5 games. And then a few years into the Super Nintendo, I finally got one of those. And then then I would usually find stuff at garage sales. So I got like a garage sale in 64. I've had a Jaguar for a little bit, garage sale Jaguar, and a couple games.
Nice.
Had 2 Lynxes from garage sales.
Dude, I ended up getting like.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I sold one year all my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figurines, and then I bought my friend's Game Boy with the money. His mom and my mom did a joint garage sale every summer, so that unfortunately is also where I sold every like gaming thing at I was a total trader. Super Nintendo came out, I sold my NES stuff and so on.
I think that's understandable because like back then, like, oh, good night, Dave. Back then, like, people weren't thinking like, oh, and at least as a kid, I wasn't thinking like, oh, in 20, 30 years, I'm gonna want to go back and play, whatever, Mega Man 3 or something, or whatever the case may be.
I was like, well, I mean, Super Nintendo came out. I'll never use the NES again.
Like, what would I use? That's kind of what I was thinking too. Why would I go back?
Especially because like I had Super Mario All Stars, and it's like, oh, these are like the ultimate versions of the Mario games too. But yeah, I wish I had kept all that stuff. But
yeah,
what do you do? Who knows? I imagine that I probably like turn around and like bought one game with the money from old systems. How about you?
I mean, obviously I like the CDI a lot, but that's not like my favorite all-time system or anything.
Did you have one back then?
No, God, no. Like when it was.
They're expensive, right?
Yeah, dude. Way too
Like
expensive.
$7.99, right?
I mean, when you
Like-
think about it, like once you're done, I mean, there were some cheaper models later on, like the top loaders. But if you like got it at launch, you're talking about like $600
Yeah.
for. I'm sorry, $700 for the CDI. But if you wanted to get the digital video card, which you needed to play like all the really good games, that's another $250. So you're talking like over $1,000. So no, I didn't have one girl.
Yeah, it's pricey.
But
So
yeah,
it
man,
does
Super
like,
Nintendo
was it
awesome.
like Super Nintendo?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That would have been, if you had asked little me what my favorite was, it would have been Super Nintendo for sure. And even still, I'm pretty sweet to it.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know the CDI had like, so did it have like, kind of like the Saturn has that MPEG card or something? Is that what it was?
So yeah, kind of. It's a pretty sizable like piece of hardware, but on most models, like you just like stick it into the back of it, and you have to like screw it into place. And it's just like this like rectangle that has like a 32-bit RISC processor and some like MPEG hardware like decoding in it, and some other stuff. But yeah, it lets you play like the movies that they released on CDI, as well as like some of the more complicated games require it.
Mm-hmm. Like the Hulk Hogan game you were playing?
I think that one does require it, yeah. So I think the video
for the ideal experience, yeah, it requires it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh,
good night, Dade.
This
Catch you later,
is
man.
getting saucy.
I don't know. You ever played Omicron Nomad Soul?
No.
One of Quantic Dream's first games.
No,
Is
is that what
rendered
this
real
is?
time, or is this
No,
This is
this is
fantastic.
this is a pre-rendered CGI
yeah,
sequence.
yeah.
No, this is a really interesting game. So it was like David Cage's, I think, first game after founding the studio. So this is just really big, ambitious project. I kind of tortured last weekend's stream with this for a while. Hey, Cap Retro, how you doing, man? But essentially, this game is really fascinating to me because it came out on PC first, but then came out on the Dreamcast in 2000. But this game's really fascinating to me because, like, IDOS, while working with Quantic Dream, they were like, hey, do you need somebody to make music for this game? They're like, yeah, we do. And they're like, how about, would you like David Bowie? They're like, sure. So they, basically, David Bowie did the entire song. Oh, shit, we got
Nice.
Jimmy Hoppa in the chat.
Oh man, all
Jimmy.
hell's gonna break loose. I gotta be honest with you guys, Smoke Monster, because you're here now, we don't know each other very well. I am very drunk, but I've been trying to like hold myself. But if Jimmy gets in here, like all bets are off. So Jimmy, do you want to join?
Yeah, I think Jimmy has a standing invitation at all moments of time
Get him in here.
throughout history. But yeah. But yeah, Smoke, I'm assuming you know Jimmy Hopper, right?
Yeah, I watch his channel, watch his streams, and
Okay.
yeah.
What other bad decisions do you make in your life? Zing.
Oh boy.
Holy shit, this guy has a whole paragraph to say.
Oh yeah, friggin' this game's great.
I
It'll-
accept.
This game is really so essentially Omicron's really amusing because this whole concept where he comes and talks to you. He's actually talking to you through your PC monitor because you put your soul in his body to go into this realm of dimension to help save his world. So essentially, it's got this kind of like whole, I guess I don't know, meta, is that the right phrase? Where you're putting your metaphysical being into the other side.
your character,
That's so much deeper than I was gonna say Avatar.
Avatar, yeah, I guess Avatar. I don't know. I feel like if you take your your soul, if you buy into that concept, and you're putting it into like another being on the other side of your monitor, it's kind of great. This game has moments later where it's like the character you're fighting will talk to you, and he's like, "I bet you feel safe on your side of the monitor, but remember, your soul is here, and if it dies here, it dies for real." Kind of that great like Freddy
that
type.
X-Files episode where they go into like VR.
Was that an X-Files or was that like Murder She Wrote?
Both, I'm pretty sure.
But kind of like that concept, yeah. But I guess kind of expands on that.
I just saw Angela Lansbury's star in Hollywood a few months ago. However, I've never seen that. I've never even heard of this game. I don't.
Oh,
think.
really? Omicron's great because it gets even weirder. So like it has like 3D adventure type elements to it, and then it has FPS elements and also fighter elements. But then like you didn't think that was enough. There's also RPG magic elements you can play in this game as well.
Nice. And you shoot 'em ups?
No, not really. But it's just kind of FPS style, but not really shoot 'em up. But it almost hits every style of genre.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
You don't sound that drunk, Ian, but like I just see like your cheeks getting like redder and redder.
Oh no,
and,
this bottle of wine is demolished, so I'm getting there.
You should have heard him like earlier, like pouring it. It was like glug, glug, glug. It was like a cartoon sound.
Wine will tear you up.
But it sounded delightful. But
No, that's pretty great. But also this drink I have here is like a 0.25% rum, so I'm just finishing that off right now as well. So I'm like, all right.
1/4%.
so
25%.
I told
there
Ian
we go.
earlier, but you don't know because you were showering. When I went to go make do a refill a drink, I grabbed a shot glass and then I grabbed the coffee pot. And poured it into
What?
Right, so,
you poured the coffee into the shot glass? Or the other way?
Is Jimmy joining this or not?
Yeah, he went to go get 2 beers and
okay.
said he'll be back.
Oh yeah, I forgot he is off the wagon. I forgot about that.
yeah, right. He was drinking last week.
he was, yeah. God, that was a fun stream.
I can go grab a beer. Let me go grab a beer out of the fridge. I think I have one in there.
Do your thing.
Do it.
Maybe even 2. Need to go see.
Do it. I still have a 1/4 bottle of rum I can go through, so this evening can go much longer. So something I love about this part of the game is automatically I'm going to walk down here to the end of this ramp, and then it's going to trigger a David Bowie song, which is going to immediately trigger a copyright strike on the stream, which I don't care about, but I love it because it's a great song.
This fucking rebel over here. I don't care.
I don't care. I feel like I need to share this with as many human beings as possible. And what only makes me sad is the fact there is not a Omicron Nomad Soul vinyl soundtrack I could buy as the hipster I am.
These motorcycles are just fucking sliding around.
Oh yeah, they're kind of weird.
It's awful.
Well, what's funny, I don't know in the Dreamcast version if it is or not, but in the PC version you can actually drive a car around and just crash it into people. Oh, it's pretty great. But when I play this game, I'm like, this is me sitting there not understanding programming on any deep capacity or not. I'm like, I feel like, because this game is on the Dreamcast, they could have gotten GTA 3. I'm like, that's really doesn't not the same thing. But yeah.
I'm just very concerned about these like sliding motorcycles. Like they're very distracting. I'm shocked at how poorly they're done. John Rogers said he's putting his phone into the fridge while he has a cigarette. I don't know if he's kidding or not, but
his phone's probably just getting way too hot watching all this hot Dreamcast action.
Oh, did I tell you that just a couple weeks ago on
what was that?
Jurassic Park dinosaurs?
It's probably a Smoke
Monster. Life finds a way.
Probably Smoke Monster's fridge over there with the giant
fears eating him. But anyways, a guy that worked on the Sega VR headset ended up commenting on my Sega VR video about it. He was talking about how they pretty much had done all this work to figure out how to get the cost and all this stuff, and they kept wanting to get Sega to do studies about it to make sure it's gonna be okay for kids. And Sega kept dragging their feet, and finally they got him to do it. And it was just oh yeah, this gives kids the worst headaches ever, and it will permanently damage their eyes.
What was it like? Didn't Tom Kalinske talk about that? He had a quote where he was like, "We would have made it provided it didn't damage children," or something like that. What was the quote?
Yeah,
it was,
I have a sound clip of him talking about.
Yeah,
it.
He was excited about the technologies, but ultimately we couldn't do it without harming children or something like that.
Yeah, he said something ultimately, it was making people sick. And,
yeah.
We couldn't be making kids sick.
Was it a vomit?
How many kids got seizures from this? But we cannot release this.
We can't.
What are you guys talking about?
The
Sega VR.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a Victor Max VR helmet from a garage sale. It only worked for a few weeks.
Those
I
things
could
are
use it.
awesome.
Yeah, I guess I thought it was the coolest thing on Earth back then, but then I watched videos on it just to remember what it even was recently, and I'm like, how did I like that thing?
I mean, when you're a kid,
I must have
especially back
imagined
then-
it.
Yeah, because it's so gimmicky at the time. It was probably just amazing in that regard.
Well, like right now, you think about it. You're a kid, like now, like video games, like some of them look like almost photorealistic, right? Like, are pretty darn close. So the graphics are amazing. Like, you have these giant sprawling worlds and all this stuff. Like when we were growing up, like if you saw like a semi-digitized or semi-passable character to a real life person, you're like, oh my god, these are the best graphics ever. We'll never get past this. And really, it's like a 32 by 32 sprite or something that looks awful. But so back then, like everything, just like I don't know. I think you were more forgiving of everything because everything was so novel.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing only worked for such a short period of time for me that I probably filled in the gaps later because I remember being really bummed out when it just didn't power on anymore.
The way I remember it was literally like two TVs, right? Like two little mini, not TVs.
Yeah, two
like,
really
like LCDs, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I mean,
there's a plastic overlay in there or something.
Right.
And I saw that in the video too. I was like, how did I like this thing?
It was basically like just having your like eyes like really close to a TV.
Yeah.
It's eye.
Well, like wait, Yahel, wasn't the thing you talked about where you're like your Sega VR? Like people are like, I had this in the '90s. What are you talking about? And it's that same one where like literally it's just like that VR headset with the plastic clip you clip on your shirt where it's like left and right.
I even like write in the video, like, or not write in the video, but the video I even say a lot of people think that the Stuntmaster blah 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 is the same VR because they do look kind of similar, vaguely. So
you could plug anything into it. I remember plugging in GoldenEye and it was just you couldn't play it with it. That probably dates when I got it.
Oh, Human Interact.
So
Let's
I
go,
can
man.
figure that out.
Oh, hey, Alex. But
you couldn't see anything in the distance on it.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
That's great.
Are you guys into VR now?
I am not, but I know Alex from Human Interact runs a company for it.
Yeah, he's a VR developer.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, there have been some games I really, really enjoyed on it. I wouldn't say I'm like a ardent, like I don't necessarily go out looking for VR games, but I really haven't had any bad experience with modern VR games at all. Like I really enjoy most of them. In fact, I really should hook mine up to play the Star Trek Bridge Commander.
Dude, if you hook
that.
up your headset, I'll play Bridge Commander with you guys.
Oh, by the way, people in the chat now is Alex from Human Interact.
Hey,
how's it going?
What's up, man? It's good to see you again. Smoke
Alex,
Monster.
we got Smoke Monster here. Laney's here as well. Jimmy will be joining soon.
Yep.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, Laney.
So-
What's up?
Do you know Lon Seidman? Yahel? Lon TV?
Do I know who?
Lon TV channel. Lon Seidman.
No, I don't think so.
Does lots of product reviews and then some gaming stuff. He invited me to play Bridge Commander with him sometime live.
Nice.
I think we might need bridge mates or something.
I would love to watch.
Player.
I would love to watch this.
Yeah.
So here's the funny thing about this game. So I know a bunch of VR devs. They played it when the game first came out, and I didn't have time to because I was trying to make a milestone. And we finally got around to like, okay, let's go ahead and let's play it. And then it's just like everybody's like, well, we're done with the game. And here's the problem is that they launched a 4-player multiplayer game on a thing that required at least like $700 investment just to get the system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
I haven't played it.
You just don't do that
over
at the
a year.
first.
Yeah.
But it was good. I haven't played it in like over a year because, like, kind of to your point, like when I got Bridge Commander, I got it when it came out on PS4, and people were like done with it pretty much until they released the TNG pack. Then
I saw that the other day. I just bought it. I haven't played it yet.
Well, the funny thing was I thought about buying it, but I'm like, you know what? It's JJ shit. So I'm like, nope, I'm gonna wait until they release something.
Just for it.
TNG.
Oh, is it? I thought it was based around was it not based around the original series?
Well, it was TOS, but
no one here has played it.
No, well, but here's the thing, like, so it had like art style that was like J.J. Abrams influenced. It wasn't really original series influence.
Like,
Star Trek
Oh, it
2000.
can
now.
have
Actually,
that
the
later.
TNG DLC is well worth it.
Yeah.
Like it is awesome. It is like
I
you're
should get
on the
that.
bridge of the Enterprise. It is.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, I saw it was $10.
Is it
I'm
my
like, should I get
fantasy?
this?
Yes. What's that?
Yeah, I
But,
saw it's like
it-
$10 for that.
But
add-on.
it plays. I will say that. I mean, it plays exactly like the. It's just a skin that makes everything look like TNG.
Okay.
And
I
there
mean,
are
does it need
some...
any more? I mean, the gameplay I heard was
Not
good.
really. Not really. I mean, the gameplay is good.
But it
takes-
also requires 4 people. Like, if you play with bots, you're just like, okay, this.
I mean,
Who
I've
has
only ever
4 friends? I mean, really.
played-
I sure don't.
Who has 4 friends with VR?
With
there's no
with VR
problem.
headsets, or you feel comfortable talking to as adults.
Yeah, I don't have
I
4
mean, who
friends
has
who will
that?
talk to me, let alone have a VR helmet.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was trying to put together a thing and like, let's stream it, let's do this. And then like, I was like, well, fuck it, we don't have to stream it. I just want to play it. I just want to play with like, a couple people who are into VR. And I know you all have headsets, and it's just like.
Oh, wait,
Just
what?
can't get people just to get together at the same time and play. It's hard enough just to get people just to show up on your stream, man.
Oh, Jonathan G
I
says.
think I
wait,
would take British
sorry, let me
Commander too seriously to
let me
stream
interrupt this
public.
here really quick. Jonathan G says, "Do the sex with the woman." Because in this game
Yeah,
you
what
can
is going on in this game?
So basically, coming back here, you took over Kale's body after he uncovered a whole mystery where these demons are destroying the souls in this particular dimension. So you can actually do a sequence where you can make love to the wife in the game at this point. So Jonathan G is telling me he's never going to finish the music for the section I sent him of my latest video. So
Make
crap.
sure you,
You
remove
bet-
the toilet paper off your shoe before you go into the room.
Yeah,
You better do the thing that your chat
So
says.
basically, you can do a whole cut where you do like a really low poly sex scene. So it's pretty great.
Is
I'm
this
down
game
for this.
rated M for mature?
I don't know what you would rate this game in today's age. I mean, like, probably in 2000, 1999 when this came out, it was like, oh man, there's a sex scene in this game. That's nuts.
2009. It's like those
I
comic books where,
am-
like Marvel did, where they took
Yeah.
like Spider-Man
Yeah.
into the future.
Oh god. So
I had those.
I am disappointed, is what she says.
Yeah, she
Ian, I
was
don't know
looking
if
at
you
you all
realize
sultry.
you said the year 2099.
Oh, did I say that? Oh my bad.
Yeah.
Have
You know-
you guys heard
I'm
of
okay with
Battle Group VR?
No, that sounds interesting though.
I'm a beta tester for it. I've only actually gone into it like twice. It's sort of like Bridge Commander meets Wing Commander kind of game.
Ooh.
It might be cool. You can
Wing-
email the
Is-
devs and they add
Is
you
it
as a
definitely like a 4-player?
I forgot how many
social
players
type
it
game?
is. I think it's way more than 4.
Okay.
I actually haven't been in there for like 3 or 4 months. I get updates on it like every day though.
Real-time strategy. Okay. So
Yeah.
here's the funny thing. The game that I was creating, we were heavily influenced by Wing Commander and point-and-click adventure games.
Oh, nice.
And the thing that was kind of crazy about it though was when we did all the testing, we basically figured out that like people are actually bad at using controllers in VR because you can't see them.
Mhm. I can
And
see that.
so we started figuring out that like VR was kind of turning into like at least the mass market products were turning into like theme park rides and stuff. And so we put that together and I'm seeing now like the VR market being like this niche, really hardcore audience. And it just like I love playing these niche hardcore games. It's just that it's not to me personally what VR needs right now, because what VR needs is something that will get
Killer
a
apps,
million
yeah.
extra sales. It's not even
Yeah.
a killer app. It's just something that'll just get like, hey, we're gonna break the 10 million mark.
Half-Life
Yeah, I thought
3.
Alex might have. Yeah, I thought Alex might have been a contender for that, but it didn't. I mean, it was a huge deal, and then it launched, and then I haven't really heard much about it since then.
It's still sold a lot
like
of units.
it.
They still sold over 1 million units. So it's not like there's
That's pretty
not
good.
that many people there, but it's like
It's not.
it
a
should have
big-
sold
big
a
one,
lot
yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm saying.
In
And
today's
it's just
money,
because-
that's not. A
Well,
lot.
it's just it's not a. I mean, VR, as great as it is, it's not a consumer-friendly entrance point. There's not like a VR console you can pick up that just makes it. 100
Quest is like that. Quest is basically a console.
Yeah, but not. Okay, I'm gonna put this out there that way. Like, I mean, like the Wii U, for example, failed because consumers didn't understand it was a new Nintendo console.
Yeah.
So I mean, your average consumer is pretty dumb. In
And
order
the
to,
Wii U failed at 10 million units.
yeah,
just
and the
so you
Wii,
know.
yeah. I mean, it failed at
And
10
there's,
million.
Like, no VR
So I mean,
platform that many.
so like when you make a game like that, you have to explain the points of entry into that particular platform. Because like when you're getting a VR headset like that for a game like Half-Life Alyx, you need to explain like, oh, by the way, you need a PC that's capable of supporting this, and also you need either an Oculus or HTC Vive that's capable of. I don't know. It's one of those things where like VR, as amazing as it is, it's not as consumer friendly as it needs to be. I think is the primary.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
failure. I'm saying this as like a random YouTuber without, but I say this as a dumb consumer myself.
But you have identified there is a problem here, and I'm not quite sure where it is. But
yeah.
hey,
well,
guess what?
there's a disconnect between grandma has a really hard time buying this for her grandson type thing, like, oh, I know you love this game, so I'm going to get you Tony Fred's Golf Metra for your Nintendos. So I mean, so there's
Tony Metra's Golf Guide.
Tony Metra's Golf Gaiden. You know, to get access to this particular play market. So I feel like that's the issue. I would play.
Hey, guess what? We have a new contender.
Tonight's matchup.
Jimmy
Wrestling with Gaming versus Jimmy Hopper.
I like the extra Jimmy on there, the way that stuttered.
I like the production value here.
Well, this isn't Jimmy. But I'm here to tell you that if you use a pound cable, you are a filthy peasant, and I think you ought to be lined up and shot against the wall. That's right.
Does he know that?
See you guys. Goodbye.
And yeah, honestly, if you don't have a FrameMeister and you're still using pound, you're not MLig cool.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know.
Jimmy, how are you doing? What did you go get to drink?
God damn it! Y'all got me drinking. I was so good. Hello? Is this the
It's
smoke?
Smoke Monster. How's it going?
It's the smoke. Hey, how you doing,
I want
man?
to say hi. This is my first stream with you, I think, isn't it?
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Oh man,
Watch the stream.
I need to
I'll
get,
have to get it popped sometime. No, good to be on here with you, man. I guess to answer your hell real quick, I'm drinking a premium Ebisu, and this is just sin. I'm gonna crack it open now, and there you go.
Well, James, you didn't have to drink just because we're drinking.
I think I have to though. I could never forgive myself. I want to forget. I think after this is done, I just want to forget that I was here.
Oh, well, I can understand that.
Oh, God.
I feel like that's
CDI
famous last words for a lot of people who come to my streams. I feel like that's a very noble thing to say.
Immediately. No, I'm just joking. I'm glad to be here. So we got a crowded chat. Good.
Yeah.
In the text chat too. All the good people. All the good people. And
Only
who can I make fun of in here? John
Jimmy,
Rogers.
Did you get The Last of Us 2?
Oh, dude, yeah. It's basically it's become my life. My life is an art project, just like The Last of Us 2. I've always felt like if my life was turned into a script, turned into a video game, turned into something that wants to be a movie, it would basically be like The Last of Us 2.
I actually really enjoyed
my life is devoid of zombies, just like that game.
I was rather amused because I had some people like messaging me about. Apparently, there's a sequence where like they see an Abrams tank, and they were asking me about like how accurate that was for some reason. I was like, "Yeah, that's accurate. That's baskets on the outside for shit."
Last of Us is the game where you have the dog, right?
Well, no. Last of Us is a game where you're like the survival horror game fighting the zombies.
Oh. See, I know nothing.
That's
yeah,
good.
no, I really like the
better.
first Last of Us, but
apparently everybody hates the second one because apparently the person who made it hated the first one and wanted to change it to make this I don't know, something for more like Alex's crowd.
I haven't played it, so I don't know. I mean, I would like to play it, but at this point, like, every review's like, man, I felt really bad playing this. It's like, that's not what I need right now.
Why? Is something happening in the country? It's
it's like, look,
Everything's
man,
okay,
I can
right?
feel really bad for free right now by just like turning on the news.
Yeah. Or you could be on a Historicnerd live stream.
Oh yeah, or you could be here and feel just as bad for nothing.
Oh yeah.
From
At least,
downtown!
for me, this is a delight. You're not making fun of the Saturn on baseless accusations, so I'm having a good time.
You know, I can't quite see through what you're saying based on the number of squares that are offset to each other, causing a. It's almost transparent, but I can't quite see through it. I don't know what is wrong with my eyes, but there's a thing there.
You will die if this is death pound.
Well, okay, so gonna be honest with you, I'm actually using VGA to OSSC right now. I'm not actually using a pound cable. I was just way too lazy to change my thumbnail, which I should probably do.
You still getting them cents from pound, huh?
Yeah, I'm
the
getting.
awful ones.
Yeah, the pound apparently is the one that uses just the basic like video upscaling chips that
that's
look
right,
like
yeah.
shit that Bob would like stab a dude
Bob
over.
just put out a video where he tested all the lag on it, and it was pretty atrocious.
Yeah.
Bad.
Bob always
Pretty
like
bad.
Bob always like includes them in like every video testing lag, even if it has
I know.
nothing to do with them.
Dude,
Just to remind
like,
you guys.
Here's the thing, like Bob is doing like legit good work. Like this is the type of stuff that we do like in our labs when we're like testing shit just to see like
and Bob's
is it
doing
really
it.
true?
Bob's doing it for
And
the
Bob's
industry.
doing it for free
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Bob's the man. He's the grandfather of all this stuff.
Tell us how you're better than him, though, Smoke Monster. Fuck Bob. Bob's a poser.
Jeez.
Yeah, Smoke Monster. I'm all about you starting a drama channel. I want somebody to start a completely
A
false
gaming
retro
drama
gaming.
alert.
I got retweeted by Keemstar.
Keemstar? Oh, hell yeah.
I noticed.
got a
Yeah, he
retweet
he
from
follows you on YouTube, doesn't he?
tonight. Yeah,
What?
he followed. He found me somehow, and so yeah, I was thinking about that too. I was like, I need to start some like major controversies with individual
Just,
people
I
over
mean-
like really personal stuff.
Start shit with H3. I'm sure Keem will put you in his back corner
Yeah,
for the
he'll-
entire time.
You need to lay out the plot ahead of time so that in the end you can combine your subscriber count though. When you
Right.
become friends and
so,
everything's fine.
so that way there's a whole twist on the Mister that
Yeah.
that makes
So,
sense.
so we already know like our lead stories for Bob are always that like he's secretly using pound cables. Is our always well, what would be for Smoke Monster like obviously something that where like he doesn't believe in FPGA or something.
I don't actually have a Mister.
he's just using legit hardware this entire
Actually-
time.
He's fraud. He's
I'm
big
like,
fat phony.
Didn't even call his male teachers growing up Mister.
That's a good one.
One of the cool kids, though.
I'm a triple agent for Retron.
He only
is
uses
your
HyperKit and multi.
This was all a deep state Retron community or Retron conspiracy.
Yeah, there we go. I like the angle of him using only HyperKit and or Retron machine.
I have heard that Smoke is a pie man, Vanessa. You just love it when
It's
people
true.
come over and tell you how the retro pie can do all this stuff just for cheaper and better.
I pretend to
I
like
mean-
Mister, but all my real gaming is on a pie.
Hey,
A literal
I
pie, an apple
just,
pie. It's delicious.
I just cut this thing up just for you guys. All right, here you go.
Introducing Alexander Mejia, Wrestling with Gaming, Historicnerd, Jimmy Hoppa, and Smoke.
That's the best as I got. All right, that's what I can cook up in 2 minutes.
I love it.
All right, that was
That's pretty well put together in 2 minutes.
Professional, sir.
Oh.
Was that like computer voices for the others, or is that you?
No, that's the record. It's the real thing.
NBA
Yeah,
Jam.
the legit
Yeah,
voice
and
actor.
Tim Kitzrow.
Very cool.
Yeah, here.
I'll
Play a sound that I don't normally play very often, but I can do it on here.
Uh-oh, he's coming over for a booty shakalaka call. Kaboom!
So I thought it was really interesting. So like that particular voice actor was at the hotel bar in Portland, And it was so amusing to me how pissed off he was that hotel bar closed at midnight. Like, he was legit fucking pissed.
What the fuck is this shit? Get this shit. What are we doing?
Well, he was like, "What the fuck?" And it was like him doing the whole like NBA Jam voice.
Yeah.
It's like, keep the bar open.
He's like, "At
He was
midnight."
a pretty funny. He was a pretty funny guy.
Yeah, he was pretty funny.
Nice guy too.
Oh yeah, really. Yeah, great. But it was just really goofy that the hotel bar
I wasn't
closed.
happy about it either.
It was like I had to go over to like the hotel lobby and buy beers at like $5 a piece.
12 is pretty early.
Oh, that's right, because they closed the bar.
Yeah.
But you could still buy beers from the front desk.
Yeah. But it was like
Why
$5
not
a
just,
shit.
like, walk across the street.
I need a
Yeah.
beer and a
the CVS.
I'll tell you
It was like Miller
funny
Lights,
stories
or-
from that time.
I don't
These
know,
are
they
both-
were- it
they
was
both relate to
terrible.
Yahel, and actually Laney is part of them. One thing, Yahel abandoned all of his friends, all of his talk, abandoned his lady to go talk to MVG, Modern Vintage Gamer, to try to convert him to the ways of the CDI for like, what must have been about 2 hours of you groveling and trying to.
You know, he.
We were
I
talking to him
I feel
about,
like
other stuff.
you say that. You say that, but I feel like he.
I have
Hell
a
was
picture of you
hand
sleeping
eating.
while I'm talking. to Modern Vintage.
Yahel dipped his finger in some of that pizza sauce, that pizza that Alex brought down from his room. He started like putting on his cheek. Oh, you got a little bit of pizza sauce on your cheek, sweetie. And he was just being really weird and awkward. And I was like, that's not how you
Modern Vintage
convert.
Gamer.
Yeah, this is the Modern
Yeah,
Vintage
I call him
Gamer. He's like,
Demetrius. but
I'm
whatever.
married, mate, and I don't swing that way. And he's like, it doesn't matter. CDI doesn't care about your preference.
CDI swings all the ways.
CDI stands for Demetrius.
Oh God. And then
No,
Lane,
we hit
poor
it off.
Laney,
We
Laney
really
was sitting
talked about, like,
there, and
makeup
me
people.
and like Mike and I think my friend Jay came over like, what's the matter, Laney? You saw she was about to cry. I was like, he's
Oh
just,
my god.
it's not the man that I knew. But I didn't sign up for this. And I was like, it's happening?
All he talks
Yeah,
about
that's
is
exactly what happened. And also, like the year before, when I went and I saw the CDI, and I tried my damnedest to throw it out the window. I didn't say anything good about it. I didn't even play it. I was like, I'm gonna throw this shit out the window.
liar.
It took Yahel, Ian, and Genovi, 3 strong dudes to like pull me back. I'm just like,
And I quote, I don't know, I'm pretty high and drunk. This is pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm the
This
hero.
isn't bad. This is pretty fun. These are like real games.
This is like real games.
All right, I just posted the picture group in there because I know there's a picture of you like trying to talk to MVG. Like, okay, man. So here's how.
Well,
it's gonna
my
work. You
favorite
go
thing about that
forward,
picture was
do
the,
CDI.
is it like the 2 guys
So
stuck in the hotel lobby doors on the other side?
Yeah, the guy's like trying to get in. You guys
Yeah.
just like fuck him.
Yeah.
I think the reason why like MVG and I started talking so much is, I think I had like hit him up or he hit me up or replied to some tweet. One of us made a tweet about being there at the hotel bar and like trying to convince her to come down. I don't know. But anyways, so we were already gonna like at least say hi to each other, and it became apparent pretty quickly like we were like serious about our drinking, and so I think that's why like that's what we subconsciously bonded over. We were drinking at the same pace. But yeah, we talked about like a bunch of like non-gaming stuff. Actually,
Well, I have to say, one of my favorite things from that particular evening about the MVG and all that was you selling up the CDI so dramatically, and then us going up to the hotel room, and then you forgetting the power cord to the CDI.
I don't think it happened in that order, but I do like the edit on that.
But just,
Yeah, we
just
already knew
he
how
was
to
just
sell the power
fucking
cord.
Yahel was selling that shit fucking 100% fuck.
know.
Oh my god,
We
so
had
like Trip
Counter-Strike down
Hawkins like
or
selling that
bought
shit.
it just to have the cord.
Yeah, but just like Trip Hawkins that shit like fucking full tuxedo necktie type thing, like just getting you 100% like you're like, God, I'm fucking ready to eat this shit up. And you get up there like, oh, I forgot the particular power cord, which by the way is relatively unique in terms of power cords. So you don't get to taste it. So fuck you. But
Those are great
it's called
pictures.
building anticipation.
yeah.
Teasing.
Somebody liked the pictures. Thank you.
What picture?
Yeah, those are great.
Oh, it's probably the ones that showed you and
you need to
MBG.
go
Ones are
to
too drunk to
Portland.
click on.
Oh, those were
Into what?
excellent.
Yeah, so now you know what us nerds actually look like.
Wait,
Looks like fun.
where are you?
It was
Where-
in the Skype. I dropped it in the Skype chat.
Oh, I thought you had dropped it in the regular chat. That's why.
I can drop it in regular chat too, but I don't think they're clickable because I'm not a mod anymore because apparently I fucked up.
Wait, are you not a mod on my channel?
I don't think so.
I mean, I can copy them.
I thought you were.
I posted the link and then it was just like
Maybe it's
stop
'cause it's
spamming.
like-
Well, it might be
Maybe
like
that's
I think
Oh, there we
I
go.
might have your
maybe it's
Alex.
Human Interact instead
Maybe
of
it's
Alexander.
Yeah, I might have your
Yeah.
Alexander Mejia one set as a moderator, but not Human Interact.
Mm-hmm.
One or the other. I don't. My bad.
Yeah, I'm not a mod. Human
Yeah.
Interact.
Well, I mean, like
yeah, I haven't
I'm
seen it in a
sorry.
while.
Anyone watching the stream, I apologize. I typically like to drink over the course of a stream. So if you do or do not have moderation privileges, it's probably because you joined the stream later in the evening, which results in me being intoxicated. So I apologize.
Nah, don't worry about it, man. I get it. It's cool. You don't like me.
Yeah, these pictures are really good, Alex. I'm actually glad you posted these. I hadn't seen these in a while.
Yeah, well, I miss you guys, and I hope that next Portland Retro like actually happens.
Okay. And then next thing you post is Human Interact. We'll have a wrench next to it. So there you go.
Oh,
All right, guys. I think we're going to get going. It's a little late for us. We're tired.
It's not even midnight your time. Come on.
Yeah,
Cheers, man.
yeah.
You don't have to announce it. You can just go, you know.
But we're a little tired. Maybe I'm a little drunk as well. So
Okay.
Oh.
just get going.
All right.
Ooh.
Well, I guess.
But,
it's,
thanks for having us here.
Oh, let me see. MVG
Yeah, always
streaming right
always
now?
a pleasure having
Okay.
you and Laney, man.
Oh man. Yeah. Have a good night,
Whatever.
guys.
All right, have a good
see
night.
you, man.
Later,
nice
later,
talking
yeah, later, y'all.
A good one.
Yeah,
I didn't hear a
I
final
miss those
goodbye there.
days.
Well, you don't wanna drag it because you're like, well, you know what? Maybe I'm not gonna go after. Like, oh no, you should go. So many CDI games played. Thunder in Paradise. Paradise. Come on,
Dude,
man.
I'm waiting to play some Thunder in Paradise. I wanna stream it and like just
You really got
get
it.
hype and do my dumb shit that I like to do.
I saw at my movie pirating site like 4 Thunder in Paradises like came on the same day the other day. I was like, whoa, this is a thing like outside of CDI.
Man, yeah,
Apparently it
yeah
was a-
well, it
Well,
was a
well,
show.
yeah, Captain
There's
Retro,
movies and-
yeah. Thunder in
It's just
Paradise
like the
was
CDI game. It looks like.
yeah. Thunder in Paradise was because essentially, so the CDI game is actually a cut up episode of Thunder in Paradise, but essentially, so there was a whole movie that was like the pilot, and then you had like a whole like 1 to 2 season show run that occurred. But also, like I think the pilot movie was actually put out on Laserdisc. I think Captain Retro actually sent me a picture of the Laserdisc he had.
That gives me an idea.
And I'm like,
we
I'm like,
should,
goddamn
we should redo the
artwork.
game and AI upscale the whole thing to like 4K 4x3,
Can you
and then
really
sell it.
redo Perfection?
I don't,
well,
I
it's
don't
kinda-
know, but you can try.
Well, I mean, like I think Yahel and myself were talking about like why, based on the fact like he's a corpse killer. Oh my God, the other particular FMV game that came out.
All those Tom Zito
Particular
joints.
Yeah, all those Tom Zito games that particularly came out that had PC re-releases based on the HD footage they had. I'm kind of shocked there hasn't been like a Thunder in Paradise one, because arguably Thunder in Paradise is one of the more enjoyable FMV games from that era.
Yeah, they
So-
actually are. But the problem is that it doesn't have the name recognition, because until I met you guys, like I didn't know what that
Well,
was.
I
didn't
feel
even realize
like
it was a show.
I feel
didn't
like
either.
until Yahel and myself started like burning random CDI games, I feel like it was just literally just an obscure game. So I remember
It's called out in like the weirdest FMV games, because I started like looking up YouTube lists of like the weirdest FMV games or the worst FMV
well,
games, and it does show up there.
well,
so
I mean,
It's definitely mostly filmed in a generic water park somewhere.
yeah, it's filmed in some Orlando water park for sure. But no, I feel like at least when Yahel and myself
there's a scene
started
where
playing,
you can see a wave pool for sure.
yeah, there's definitely a number of those. But in terms of like Thunder in Paradise, I remember like Yahel and myself when we were both getting into because I had a CDI that I had found for like $5 on a shelf at a thrift store, and I had no idea if it worked or not. But then we both started
you
like
motherfucker.
yeah, so we both started like researching, because he had gotten his and like he was having a hell of a lot of fun with it, and he actually sent me the infrared controller to see if it worked for it, and so I was testing it and I couldn't get it to work with my CDI. So I just sat there and I like bit the bullet and paid like $50 for the CDI mouse, because I researched that the CDI is a really interesting console in the sense that any controller will work with any game on the CDI. That was just something they put into like their gospel when they were making the console. They're like, if you buy a game for the CDI and you buy the stupid kitty trackball mouse, it will work with any game we have on the CDI.
Nice.
And so that was just something they
That's
like.
interesting.
It's really fascinating in the sense that like they did that. So like,
Someone bought it just because of that.
yeah. So they.
Yeah.
So I sat there and I'm like,
kind of like the Amiga, where like everything you plug into a controller port technically works, but it's dicey.
yeah, but with the CDI, no matter what controller you plug in, it will work. So like if you play the CDI gun, it will work with any CDI game. Like it'll work with Hotel Mario, the Zelda games, all that. Like even even though you're using a light gun, it will work with any game on the CDI, which is fascinating in itself.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, but so essentially,
Hold on a second. Jonathan G's dropping some knowledge here. He just said that there was a kid from my middle school dated Hogan's daughter, and it was on an episode of Hogan's Knows Best. His name is Jerry Reed. He's a pop singer, and Hogan made him lift with him.
oh, that's funny.
Lift his daughter.
Ooh, that's scary.
Just another video that's coming out soon on Gawker, the death throes. Also, I don't know if this is Omicron the Nomad Soul. Ian has a strange fascination and obsession with this game.
Oh, I have a deep, unruling obsession with this game, and I'm not afraid to admit it.
It sounds like it looks like it's got a lot of story and like.
Oh no, this game's fascinating.
Weird
'cause, like,
heads.
so yeah, really odd
Guys,
camera
I'm a little
angles
bit
and.
far apart.
I mean, like in 1999, this game looked fucking amazing.
I don't know,
At
man.
least what's
It
her name?
probably did, yeah.
Shenmue
like-
looks a lot better than this.
That
That came out in '99.
This would have been pretty impressive to me, I think, back then.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, like
I'm not gonna lie.
this game, the sci-fi
this is-
aesthetic to it, but also you got to remember this game's also an FPS, a shooter, a fighting game, an RPG, all rolled into one.
Isn't that Shenmue?
Shenmue does not have FPS sequences in it.
Yo shoots what's his name?
Is this
Chai.
Is the map pretty big in this game?
Yeah.
Like
So
out in the
you
real
have
world here?
this like industrial city I'm in here, and then you have other quadrants you can go to as well. So yeah. So let me show you. I'm about to go to the FPS sequence here. So I'll show you this when it.
I'm
gets to it.
kind of curious. People are making games that are nostalgic, and people in their mid 30s are making stuff about NES and stuff. In 10 years, will people make nostalgic games like this in these crazy, really not densely populated but big open space type areas? I don't know.
There's 7 Beatles Zoom said there's a video game Ian likes more than Thunder in Paradise. Yes, and that is Omicron Nomad Soul. This game right here, which is if you scroll through my channel history, you'll see I think Omicron Nomad Soul, my favorite game of all time that I made a video about. But before I do the sequence, I'm going to go refill my drink, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, Vanessa just said, I doubt it. Pixel art's beautiful and ages well. I kind of agree because it's like, I'm sure that there are people that are nostalgic for these PS2 and Dreamcast era games, but the ones that will get remade and stuff will probably be something like, it's like Metal Gear. But like, if you're redoing that, would you want to have the same graphic style as the PS2, or would you rather do something that's probably cheaper and easier to do with like
4K
kit packs and stuff?
Well, I guess it might depend on what you want to do with like the actual game itself. Do you want to have like a billion things going on at the same time? You have like a million Snake PS2 models running around doing shit.
I guess, yeah. I mean, like if you went something like that,
8K Ultra Edition.
Well, I mean, you saw the
tiny
Unreal 5
Nintendo
demos,
Switch
right?
Screen. Oh.
You saw
What's
Unreal
that?
5 demo where it's just like, hey man, we can just basically stream in unlimited triangles. They're like, hey, that triangle over there is the size of a pixel, and people are like, why? And everybody who's making a game engine right now is just like puking their guts out because they're like, fuck, I'm going to be crunching on this bullshit for the next 6 months. Because some producer will see and be like, you can fucking do that, right?
I'm kind of done with like the super realistic looking graphics,
I'm not done with them. I'm just saying that like when a game gets made today and it's got that style, like there's a reason for it. The tools are designed to do that, and it's in a lot of ways it can be cheaper and easier to make graphics like that when you've got scans of all these realistic materials. It's actually harder to make something
It makes it-
stylized.
Yeah, I guess it would
Yeah,
make
and
it.
you've got all these different engines and things to build it on.
Mhm.
Who knows? I mean,
Oh,
it might be to me, it would come down to whether they're doing it as a gimmick just for the aesthetic, or whether they would really dive into the way these games were made and laid
Yeah,
out
but
and everything.
is an indie game
I have
that
no idea,
dives
though,
into
if it would
pixel
sell.
art a gimmick, or does it actually
Some
add to
are,
the
yeah.
gameplay?
Some are, and some. I mean, some are, especially during like Xbox Live Advanced or Xbox Live Arcade games, XBLRG. There were a lot of just cheap games, like where they would use the pixel art aesthetic, just probably because it was sort of like a flash game or something behind the scenes. And yeah, making a really compelling like Shovel Knight, I think, is a lot probably more harder to do.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why Shovel Knight's been worked on for multiple years, because it's
Yeah.
a great and amazing game.
Yeah,
and it lives, and the art style actually helps to communicate story and gameplay and all this other stuff.
Yeah, and it just, well, the first time I picked it up, I was like, wow, this feels a lot like DuckTales. And that's a huge compliment. Whereas other games on Xbox Live Arcade, I was like, ooh, this doesn't really feel like Contra. It looks like it's trying to play like Contra or something, but it just doesn't feel right.
You talking about Hardcore Uprising or like the newest?
Oh, that was a good one. That was
good.
There were
Yeah.
like a million games like that, though.
Yeah, there were a lot
Try to
of
reach
side-scroller
Sparkster.
shooters.
Yeah, Hardcore was really good.
So here's a
Hardcore was
really interesting thing. You can do like a gray box game output of like, all right, I got this idea. These game mechanics are fun, and you can put a skin on it and put it in front of players, and it doesn't play well, and they don't like it, and they hate it. And you can literally reskin the game, like just change its aesthetics, its sounds, its graphics, have the exact same gameplay, and be very successful. Because visuals and art style do communicate things about the game and gameplay that are probably not as well understood as we would like to think we do.
I could
But
see that, yeah.
Smoke, if you're watching the stream now, you'll see that this is a FPS game now.
Yeah, I just saw that. I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell?
It's like, that's cool, though.
Yeah, no,
Just transition right into it.
I don't know. As much crap as people give David Cage, I feel like this game is like one of his first like attempts. he had a really big vision for what he wanted to try and do with this one, and like I feel
What
like
did he go on to do? You mentioned something earlier.
Heavy Rain,
Detroit.
Fahrenheit, Detroit Beyond Human,
Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls. Yeah, very.
I actually like those games.
I really like them
I like
just because
Heavy Rain.
they're not necessarily. I don't know. People are like, oh, they're not video games. I'm like, well, they're
Indigo
more.
Prophecies,
They're
was
still
that one?
really
Wait,
entertaining.
sorry, Indigo Prophecy / Fahrenheit, depending on what
That was
version you
like
play.
right
Yeah.
after this.
Yeah, that was the next one they played, which had like psychotic amounts of like praise.
Yeah. Whatever, Ian. It's all a bunch of pretentious new mail bullcrap. No, I like some of those games for sure.
They're
Except
good
for
just to
Omicron.
sit back and
Just because-
chill and have a drink in your hand, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And also, whoa, 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 whoa. It's like, oh my god, I'm getting the feels. Jason.
Oh god.
Jason!
Dude,
Jason.
I know you make fun of it because out of context it's fucking stupid and ridiculous, but like every television show is stupid and ridiculous out of context.
Oh, I don't watch TV, so.
I know.
What are you guys talking about? I'm so lost.
They went off on some tangent. I'm not even following, but yeah. It's,
No,
I was making fun of the game Heavy Rain.
Yeah,
The
in
music,
Heavy Rain-
also the
the Jason
when you watch
Jason
the
glitch.
scenes out
Yeah,
of context, they
love
just
it.
feel fucking stupid and everything. But like when you're playing the entire game, it all feels right. It's good.
Heavy Rain
I'm
on?
still gonna
Is
make
that
fun
PC?
of it though.
Heavy Rain was PS3.
It was PS3 first, and then it
Yeah,
got
Then
everything
PC
else.
after that. Yeah.
I'll tell you, I loved that game. I got a trophy for something, and it was called A Simple Mind. And it was because I tried to help the bad guy before he died at the end of the game. And then he immediately kicked me like in the
And he,
leg
like,
or
fucks
something.
you.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, yeah, you're getting thrown down into the fucking choppy pit or whatever the fuck it was. At least I got my trophy. You
I
know?
just finished Advance Wars Dual Strike the other day, and it gives you a choice at the end whether you want to shoot the villain in the head with a pistol who's in a wheelchair, by the way. And yeah, I did it. I mean, and then it congratulates you. It's like, yeah, you showed no mercy. Good job. Well, I'm like, okay, I just shot a guy with a wheelchair. But
I mean, was it like wheelchair Hitler? Wait, whoa.
Have some sort of disability.
By that point, I was like, man, I've killed like 5,000 infantry people. I mean, I might as well take out their leader.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, wait. Hell just donated $3. Happy Father's Day from both Lainey and I. If you truly thought your viewers are as children, you'd play. I legit thought about hooking up the CDI, but I was like, yeah, that's heavy.
Well, yeah, hell, I'm gonna be doing a stream later, so maybe you can double that donation.
Oh, wait, you streaming tomorrow?
CDI,
or?
That's the CDI unappreciation stream.
What are you gonna stream?
Nah, I don't know, next week maybe. But I'm just joking.
You're just gonna play
you got my hopes
a
up.
dictionary or whatever that CDI thing is, the encyclopedia.
I would play the I did give Yahel a couple of encyclopedia for kids games and also quote unquote games, and also the greatest piece of software, Louis Armstrong, an American Songbook.
You're a terrible father to us.
I'm just waiting for him to do the story of Louis Armstrong, an American Songbook, and just kind of basically just kind of go over his life, just like whatever. He's just some guy, but anyways, he had a game on the CDI. That's the important.
Do a 50-minute documentary over it.
Yeah, no, and it could be Yahel playing piano and like, no matter what the future brings. And there's all these like better consoles that have come out since the CDI. And then it's just like he's got the CDI on his piano,
right.
Basically crushing the piano.
Good night, Yahel. Have a great night, man.
Yeah, take it easy, man.
So the segment you're here now is actually, so we're going from the FPS to an adventure mode, then we're going to go into a 2D fighter mode.
Which is the sexy mode? Or did we skip that already?
Well, I didn't. Jonathan G was giving me crap for not doing the sexy mode, so I skipped that. Yeah, I skipped that actually earlier in the stream because I had already gotten. The stream is already going to get tagged for having a David Bowie musical element in it.
Oh yeah, because there's David Bowie music in this, isn't there?
Yeah.
The greediest state of David Bowie. You know, Leisure Suit Larry is a game that I remember going to like Computer City, and you know the stores where they had like the aisles of just empty boxes for PC games, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember like they would have like Leisure Suit Larry within arm's length of a small child, right?
Oh, and
I would look at it, and I would look at the box and like see these cartoon chicks, and like on the back, it's like, oh my god, she's got these big cartoon boobs. I thought that was like XXX rated, like this is like the hardcore sex games. Oh my god. I'm getting sweaty holding the box. But
that's what all of our parents thought back then too, when they grounded us.
Yeah. Hey, what are you looking at? Nothing. Looking at the Mavis Beacon typing game.
I'm just reading. I'm just doing encyclopedia games.
Louis Armstrong.
So I remember, I went to the PC store with my mother to buy a game that was like I couldn't buy by myself, and I was buying Kingpin, and. And I remember picking that game up, and my mom was like, "Okay, so this is a hyper-violent game." I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, don't show it to your older brother." I'm like, "Yes." So it was like I was allowed to get it, but like he wasn't. So it made me so damn amusing back in the day.
Dude, I think I remember this game. This is the one where you could blow off the heads and limbs. Because
It was a modified Quake 2.
Soldier of Fortune 2.
Yeah,
it was based off that.
Yeah, modified Quake 2 engine that allowed for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this, and there's like. Hey, motherfucker! And then it's just like you just blow limbs off.
Well, yeah, it was like you had the button where you could literally just aggravate somebody by cursing at them, or you could like try and like recruit them. Kingpin's a great game.
Play this.
Yeah, Kingpin's great. Like, if you ever want like a good single player.
Same year, 99. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you ever want like a great like single player experience that kind of goes through an odd gangster retro future. That has like RPG / money elements.
I remember that.
Yeah. You have to like upgrade your weapons and all this stuff.
Sounds good.
It's a really fun FPS.
Now,
Activated Complex had a suggestion for your music thing.
Oh, what is it?
Turning it down, I guess, but then
turn
telling people what the song is. I don't know if you know where it pops in.
No, it's okay. Hey. Like honestly, with live streams, thankfully YouTube doesn't. They don't really do anything about it. They just after it gets processed, they're like, "Hey, you can't monetize this." I'm like, "Oh no, okay, it's a live stream anyway."
$30 go to fucking David Bowie's estate,
thankfully, all the thankfully all the super chats automatically go to me before any of that, so it's not a
Well,
problem.
fuck that. I'm gonna start live streaming Dave Chappelle. I got a DVD box set running through Dave Chappelle. A 24-hour Dave Chappelle DVD live stream.
Well, I if you include video in
Appreciate
that,
those
there are
donations.
problems because
Those
I remember
donations,
like forever.
I got shut down in a stream for playing X-Files demo on the Genesis,
Boy.
and they gave me a spanking for 90 days. I couldn't stream again on YouTube.
Well, no,
because
yeah.
I
So
was
there's
streaming
a
live.
there's a video. So yeah,
I
so
got a
if you
warning for
do
Power Rangers too, and I had to shut down really fast on the Sega CD.
yeah, so if you do video and sound together, they will come after you. Because I remember like forever ago, I was live streaming The Wizard, and they hit me real hard, real quick with that.
Because it's a movie they sell. That's why.
Yeah. So they hit me really hard with that. Because I was like, who cares about The Wizard? I'm like, nobody, right? I'm like, no, apparently YouTube really cared about The Wizard.
That's a $5.99 rental.
That's an expensive advertisement.
But yeah, so music you can do. They don't tack you till after.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because the music people they secretly want you to use it.
Well,
because,
here's the irritating thing
that's
though.
how
Like
you
so,
get plays, and then
Yeah.
they monetize it for you anyways, right?
Well,
a
but-
play is a play.
But yeah, so the irritating thing about this one though is so like you literally this musical album for Omicron, you really can't find it anywhere else aside from the game. You can find YouTube clips, but you can't find the game music released anywhere else on like CD or vinyl. So I don't know. This is one of those things where like it's David Bowie's work, but it's not released anywhere.
I wonder if his fans know about that.
I would hope
I
they
assume
did.
he has hardcore fans.
Well, because I remember when he passed away in 2016, I think, Sony Entertainment Online actually released this game for free for a while, which I thought was
is it like voice, like singing? Or
yeah,
is
no,
it like
yeah. There's full like he did like all the musical elements of this game, and he also voices a couple of characters in it as well. And
So it's like, because I can't hear the game audio. Is
Oh,
it like pop music, or is it like a
it's-
lot of bands I remember in the late '90s were doing that kind
It
of
was-
doing soundtracks?
so
and
this
stuff.
was faux late stage industrial rock that Bowie was doing.
Yeah, that's a lot of what they were doing then.
Yeah. So yeah, so
I
it
remember
was
that
very like
period.
unique Bowie in that regard.
That's cool.
Yeah. So this game I thought was really unique in that regard because like it was one of the like I when I first played this game initially I had never really been exposed to David Bowie. So when I played it I'm like, God, this guy fucking rules. And then I started checking out his like industrial stuff. Not a big fan of his Ziggy Stardust phase, but like his late stage
This is like
industrial
Lost
black.
Highway time period.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it? When was
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
98? Yeah.
Yeah. So
that had some awesome stuff, like I'm Afraid of Americans and
Yeah.
Nine Inch Nails remix and stuff.
and then
Yeah.
but his last album
Nine Inch
ever,
Nails were
Black
doing
Star.
soundtracks and stuff
Oh
then
yeah,
too, weren't
yeah.
they?
Yeah, they did. Well,
maybe a little later.
well, Nine Inch Nails, they'd always done all the Quake stuff.
They did the Quake stuff, and
Yeah,
that was it.
yeah.
So, hey guys, I gotta head out here. So it's midnight.
Oh, later, Alex.
It's past my bedtime.
Wah, wah.
Alrighty, man.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice seeing you guys again.
Next year in Portland, Smoke.
Next
come
year
down
in
to
Portland.
and
Yes, Smoke. Get here.
you could run your hair through Alex's beautiful shimmering black hair. Might be some
Okay.
hair gel that
Hair on
crust
hair
that gets
action, that's
stuck
kinda
to your
weird.
I'm down.
fingers,
I'm
but
down.
Good.
I'm
It's
always down
good.
for a new fetish.
You should do the same to Yahel, but get him off the Propecia. Actually, he's been off of it for a while. That's why he has such a nice hair. I should have like learned about Propecia like 5 years ago. Motherfucker. But
Yeah, you,
Alex,
you
have
and me
a
both.
wonderful night.
Yeah, later,
Yeah, you
Alex.
too, guys.
And
Yeah,
cheers.
talk soon, I'm sure. Yeah.
We'll talk soon. Cheers.
Oh yeah. I was talking. All right, dude. Good night. All right, now remove that guy's mod status.
Yeah, I'll make sure to take that off so we can't do it.
I was gonna
That's
say,
not
like,
muted.
just looking at the chat real quick. 7-Bit of Doom's talking about like censoring on, Nintendo's the pervy system of choice now, and like Sony is like doing all the censoring, right? At least that's my input. It's kind of weird, right? How Sony's like really, we can't have these kind of anime movies, but
Yeah.
Nintendo's like, I don't care.
Well, Nintendo's like, nobody's watching what we're doing.
I didn't
We're the
know
family
Sony
trusted
was
console.
doing that.
They've been
I've
doing
noticed.
it for like
I guess
2-3
I've noticed Nintendo is letting anything go nowadays. It seems like I didn't know Sony was censoring.
They're doing the Atari strategy, except it's working. Anything can be put on our system. but it's all like
Yeah.
good stuff now. So it's like, oh, okay.
Well, I mean, like, as long as Nintendo's getting
have
a
a-
piece of that pie, they don't care. They're like, yeah, release whatever game you want.
Seal of quality, sure, yeah. CDI Greatest Hits Switch Collection. Okay, put the seal of quality on that.
That doesn't-
Port
You know what though?
everything.
If they did re-release Wand of Gamelon and Zelda Quest or whatever the fuck it is, people would be
That'd be big.
totally buying that. Oh my god. Half the copies would be hoarded by Yahel. It's like, this is gonna pay for my non-existent child's college someday.
I was
Actually, just want to
surprised.
swim in CDI stuff.
I was surprised how little NES and Super Nintendo stuff there is on the Switch when I looked at the list. I would have thought that it would just be like whatever you want, you can play it through the like on the Wii had that shop, whatever. It was
Oh
called.
yeah.
But I guess it's not like that. I don't have a Switch, so
The virtual console.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's a little weird because I remember I saw in a store the other day they had like a Namco collection, and they had some like, I think it was like NES, Famicom versions of stuff. But yeah, it's very strange that Nintendo, being known for rehashing all of their old IPs like constantly, right? That
Mhm.
really not that much. I guess if you have the online membership, you do have access to a lot of games, but did these weird
Okay.
like subscription based things.
Mhm.
I guess that's their model now, but I have no idea. But I wouldn't mind like
Crazy.
a big set of like 5 collections of like the greatest NES games or something like that.
Yeah, I would have thought
Famicom
they.
Ultra.
I just assumed that was there.
Yeah,
Guess not.
and you can always talk. You know how it is. Smoke Monster with the Raspberry Pi. You just get a Raspberry Pi box or
Uh-huh.
portabilize that. Come on, man, it's all free. But I'm a guy who likes to buy the official versions of things if
Mhm.
they're not terribly shitty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I know
speaking of
they're
that,
heavily sponsored by Hyperkin.
yeah, Jimmy,
I
did you ever manage to pick up a 32X over there or no?
No, not yet.
Yeah, because I have this copy of Virtual Fighter waiting here for you.
Oh, thank you. I wonder.
Yeah.
It must be region free, right? There's no
I,
like
I would
line.
Yeah,
I would assume
it
it
is.
would be, or yeah, I would assume it would be
Yeah.
the 32X, but yeah.
Smoked with the fat.
But no, I grabbed this for you. So as soon as like your borders open up, I'll mail it
Oh,
to
thank
you.
you. Actually, you can mail stuff to me, but hold on
Oh.
to it because we'll meet up next year.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah.
You know what I've been buying a lot of recently? Not a lot, but a few things here and there. It's like Sega CD. I'm gonna
Oh.
have to get a Mega. I've missed out on all these deals because I don't have money. These people who are like refurbishing Mega CDs, like the first one because it looks so much cooler.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, oh yeah, it's been like $200.
I really need to go like pay somebody to recap mine. Like just
Yeah.
send my 2 Sega CDs
I
off.
probably
like
have like 20 hours in my Sega CD1. I'm afraid every time I even use it.
Oh god! Like, so like my Sega CD1, like I was sitting there.
Completely rebuilt.
So when the first time you used your Sega CD1, did you sit there and think you're like, no wonder people broke this thing. They had no
Mine
idea
was
that you
broken
had.
when I got it.
Well, I mean, like, so when you used it, like, you had to hit the start button to close the tray.
Yeah.
And so
it's all janky.
I'm like, no wonder people fucking broke this thing, because it was
Yeah.
just
The
just 'cause
two,
of that,
it doesn't
yeah.
look as cool, but you can tell that it's like made to actually be used.
yeah, like user friendly. Yeah, like but the Model 1 is so gorgeous in terms of being like a hi-fi piece of electronics.
Yeah,
But like
it's
to
awesome.
to me, just the way like how odd it is in terms of use, I'm like,
Oh,
no wonder
yeah,
people
I'm
broke
working
it.
on it.
Yeah, just no wonder people broke the damn thing.
Mine has this thing where anytime that I open the tray and then to like work on it, I have to take the tray out and then it takes hours to like realign it because it just doesn't pop in the way that it's supposed to.
Oh. Well, yeah, I actually I paid way too much money for a Model 1 I found. And I was just like, I really want this, so I'm just going to give you all this money right now because I know it works. So
Yeah, I should have paid. I remember thinking that when I got mine, was like, man, I should have just gotten one that worked. Because it was like, I ended up recapping it, replacing the laser, fixing the worm gears on it, realigning it a million times. And it's still, like, I did a stream with it when the Mega SG came out. And it was still only like 75% of my games worked on it.
oh no.
It was horrible.
Well, yeah, because I have a Model 1 that works that I never touch. It stays on the shelf. But then I have my Model 2, which I use constantly just because it's so much easier to deal with.
Yeah. That's the way to go. Yeah. So have you guys played the Star Wars arcade game on the 32X.
Oh yeah, I freaking love that game.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the I have one of two 32X games. I have that, and I have like Virtual Racing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
it's
I've
really good racing.
it's like the best one, right? For at least for that era. It's not like the Mega Drive one where it's like, ooh.
I really love the
It's like
I love the SPP one just because of the countless hours I played on that one as a kid. But that's just me though. Wait,
Jeremy Dixon.
It says
Yeah,
32X
maybe it's
is
not.
not region free.
Maybe
Okay.
I'm wrong.
Okay.
Maybe I'm
Gosh
wrong.
darn ya. Well,
Sorry.
either way, I'm gonna get a Mega CD and a fucking 32X eventually. Maybe next paycheck coming up. But I do have I have like Ninja Warriors on Mega CD now. I've already had like a nice little chunk of Mega CD stuff, but
Nice.
I got that, and I got a Net Futatabi, which is
Oh
a
yeah,
net
cool
again.
game.
I think it's like I just need to get Ernest Evans, the cheapest one, so now I can complete that little trilogy. But I'm looking
Oh, they're
forward to
related?
playing. Yeah, I think Wolf Team put them all in the same universe. I think Ernest Evans is actually in a Net. I don't know though for sure.
And Wolf Team
Because
did
I
a bunch
never
of
played
the
it.
ports, didn't they? Or no, I'm thinking of
What's
I'm
that?
thinking of- I was thinking of Wolf Team porting things, but I guess there weren't that many, were there?
They made a lot of stuff on Sega CD, and like they've just been around for so long.
They did
lot of
Robo-Lest.
PC.
Or Super Less or whatever it is on the Sega
Super
CD.
Alesta. Denin Alesta, I think is the Japanese name, but is it Robo Alesta? Well, I know it's
think that's
Compile. Is
Oh,
the
okay.
developer. But I don't know who published it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a world. I thought about it the other day. I was like, you know what? I have a lot of Mega CD, not a lot, but like a decent amount of Mega CD games, stuff that I've wanted to play for years. It's something I wanted to play as a kid, and I was like, I can't remember a time I've ever played it myself. And I've
To me-
had systems, but they've always been broken.
The Sega Mega CD, Sega CD, to me as a kid was the ultimate. So it was one of like the things I had to track down eventually because it was like a Lamborghini or something, like totally out of the world that I lived in, kind of thing.
Mm.
I'm a big proponent of the Sega CD. People always get really mad when I say this, but it has like
Oh,
a really
Fantastic library.
good percentage of great games.
Yeah.
Like, it's a smaller library, but like if you look at the good games to bad games, it has like one of the most, like pound for pound, one of the best libraries in gaming. I say that, and then people are like, "Oh my god, it's so." I'm like, no, but I'm talking about like number of great games. You know.
Yeah, as far
because
as
like Super
the
Nintendo
proportion?
has Super Nintendo, everybody loves it, and I love it. It has thousands
much
and thousands
shit,
of games.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of crap on it. PC Engine, same thing.
Nah,
And-
I love like the PlayStation 1, but I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of shit.
There's so many games. Yeah.
There's
And then the
just so
Sega CD,
much.
it's like there's tons of great games. There's a few really crappy games. But like
Yeah,
for the
there's a
size of the
few games that
library,
aren't for me.
really,
Yeah.
yeah, it really like has a great library.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at my library of games that I've had for like years now, and like on the Mega CD, I got like Time Gal, I've got like fucking Popful Mail, Sonic CD. I have all these cool games, and I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna play them. Well, maybe I
Mhm.
can now. Hopefully.
Do you have
pretty soon.
KO?
I'm looking
isn't
into getting. Here's a funny story. Is like that game has shot up in price so much in like the last 2 years. In Game of Tokyo, Corey was like, "Oh hey, look, it's KO Flying Squadron. You should buy that. It's only like $100." And I was like, "Oh, 100 is a little bit steep, and I don't have a Mega CD, but I love the Saturn game, which is one of my first import games I ever bought."
Mhm.
And now that game is 200 to 300. And I was like, "Fuck, that has been a huge increase." So I'm gonna get that eventually, because I like that series. It's weird that there's a third game in the series. I don't know if you know what it is, but
No. I just
yeah,
thought there were the two.
it's the two, and also there's a PlayStation 1 game, but unfortunately it's a board game.
Okay.
It's one of those where screw the poo.
They just changed genres for every sequel.
Oh, it's like one of those where it's just like, let's turn this great series into a fighter, a shooter, or a board game.
Uh-huh.
That's the Japanese way. Vanessa's talking about, didn't I just get an MSX? I got an MSX Turbo R and an MSX Hitbit 101 recently, but I've had MSX systems for a long time.
Wow.
One of them I sold to Genovi recently, my 2X, 2 Plus. But yeah, I want to do a stream on MSX stuff because a bunch of new games and stuff and some homebrew things. And I think I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of the games are pretty bad for it, but they're charming. It's kind of like this Omicron game, Ian. You know this.
Oh yeah.
Bad. It's charming as hell. I love this game.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, like, if you compare it to modern mechanics, yeah, it's kind of bad. But I mean, like, at the time, it was pretty great.
That MSX is just foreign territory to me. Until I got a Mister, I never really. And I guess there was that one, was it a GameSack video about it? That's about all I knew about the MSX until I got the Mister. Mister has sort of like, basically the one chip. Do you remember that thing?
Yeah.
It's basically that continued on, and that's the core that's in Mister. It was open sourced eventually.
See, I need to catch up on my Mister. I need to go catch up on the Smoke Master channel and get all the Mister information. Oh wait, no, you don't actually know about it. You didn't even call your teacher Mister, but you're a fraud. I forgot. Raspberry Pi for life. No, but I need to catch up on that because that sounds like such a good thing. And every time I talk to Bob too, it's always about the Mister. Yeah. Everybody seems to be kind of who knows about these things that I don't know. They're always talking about the Mister. So
well, for you, like you have a real MSX, so you might as well use that. But for everybody else,
sure.
like I had shopped them for a while and then just gave up because by the time you get one here, it's pretty expensive.
It is.
And since it's
pricey.
not something I'm very familiar with, X68000 was the same way. I just have hopes that we'll get that on Mister, a nice core one day. We have a sort of half core right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just interested in it just because I think it's an awesome concept, and I mean, it would be nice if I don't have a lot of space here too. And here's what I do with all my systems: I have them in boxes above my shelves, and every time I want to play a system, I have to hook it up to my TV just because I don't have a way to.
I'm the exact same way. I just one at a time. I have everything in storage, and then I have room for one console and one arcade system and a Mister, and that's it. My setup here.
So I have
no space at all.
So my setup is my office upstairs is every console I own with all of their cords and things easy accessible, and then I just grab that, throw it in a box, and take it to my garage where I stream. But my primary issue is I have to like load up all the games from my because the closet in my office is a walk-in, which I've modified where I just have all my like floor to ceiling just video games for different consoles.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I have to go in there and just like basically take like supermarket sweep all the stuff for that console into a box and then take it to the garage.
That's what I always envisioned myself having, and then it just never materialized. So everything's just in boxes.
Well, yeah, I feel like if you live in California, that's just kind of I live in Idaho where property is relatively
You've got
cheap.
spare rooms.
Yeah, so I got like 2 extra bedrooms I don't use. So.
Oh, I'd be so dangerous. I'd be dangerous. That kind of space.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, living the dream. I'm ready to move into a bigger place. I don't know how I came to this point in my life where I'm still living in a fucking sardine can.
Well, you live in
What
Japan.
city are you in?
Sendai City.
I don't know. Where's that at?
That's in northeastern Japan, Miyagi.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Miyagi.
So it's chilly up there.
It does get a little chilly, but right now it is, as the kids say, hot as balls. So it could get pretty bad. I don't think it's as bad as like Tokyo hot, but I was actually south of Tokyo before, and I was like, oh god, it's like swimming as soon as you open your door, swim outside to get to work. But it's nice up here.
I remember when I was
and property's cheap.
Yeah, when I was in Kyoto in 2005, and I'd bought all this clothes, like all these like t-shirts. I bought them beforehand. I didn't bother washing them because they're brand new, whatever. And I was wearing this like green t-shirt while I was walking through Kyoto, and the shirt, like the dye that had colored it green, began to run with my sweat. And so like I was stained fucking green while I was walking through Kyoto. And I'm just like, this is the best day of my life. Just this 6'2" white guy walking through Kyoto, just fucking colored green.
Jolly Green Giant, yeah.
Yeah, just Jolly Green Giant through Kyoto. I guess good times.
Most of what I know of Japan is like indigenous cultures for whatever reason. So I think the Northeast has a lot of like, Ainu tribes and
yeah, a little bit.
Actually,
over in Hokkaido, there's like some cool villages. I've never been, but my grandparents told me about it.
Isn't there like
That's pretty sweet.
isn't that like
I've never been to Japan.
isn't that like a
You should
Caucasian
come out with
native tribe in the north in Japan or something like that?
Yeah, that's the Ainu. That's
Ainu, yeah.
You know, like the really old school Japanese, like before those goddamn Chinese came down here. That's not my words. Just try.
Well, weren't they more Korean than Chinese?
Well, I mean, I think it was all Chinese coming through,
Yeah.
right? But they were the ones who were kind of like you ever watched Mononoke He-Man?
Yeah,
Princess Mononoke. Kind of like those people. Was it Ashitaka is the guy's name?
Yeah.
Kind of similar to that. I think that's what those guys were based on. But kind of almost like American Indian-ish.
Yeah.
In like the thing, but they also had like the kneaded, the coiled pottery and like the haniwa and all those kind of statues. Some of the really old school Japanese like art, like there's like
Yeah,
there's
the
like
oldest pottery.
those are all like
the
those kinda
Jomon
old
pottery and
tribes.
stuff is
Yeah, Jomon
Japan.
era. Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
interesting
here in
stuff.
Sendai, the oldest site of like human, I guess people making fires and stuff in humanity. I think is like right. I went to a museum where they had like the dig site, and it's like here's where we found all these like evidence of people using tools from like however many years ago, and like I think it's the oldest known place where people were doing a lot of these things that we associate with more like modern man. It was kind of cool, and I was like, oh shit, if I ever do a Seaman 2 video, because that's all about the Peking Man and like old. I was like, I gotta fucking come to this museum and do some box art shots and use these people like an idiot.
Yeah.
And then they tell me, get the fuck out of here! Don't care about your YouTube bullshit. Yeah, that's exactly what the guy would say.
You get that a lot.
I get that a lot, man. They know who I am. Yes, screw the nets talking about the Ainu. Hokkaido Historical Village is cool, so activated conflicts may have gone. Yeah.
I remember, like, when I went to Japan back in 2005, I accidentally timed my arrival in Hiroshima on the anniversary of when the bomb was dropped, completely subconsciously. I didn't realize that was when I was timing my arrival. So I spent that entire day just feeling awful.
Yeah.
I love that story about Ian almost getting thrown into an army wagon.
Oh God! I was at there was an Iwakuni fireworks festival, and I was like the only I was the only civilian white guy there, but there was a bunch of Marine and Navy guys that were there just getting absolutely shit faced.
Is that where they do all the insane fireworks?
Well, yeah. Like they do it's like a
the big sculpture things?
3.5 hours of fireworks just fired off constantly. But there was a bunch of U.S. military service members there that had just been they were there and just drinking constantly for hours, and so they were all there and they missed the curfew for the base. So all of a sudden these 4 or 5 paddy wagons show up with just military MPs that just load out of the back of these trucks and just start hitting people to get into the trucks to go back to the base.
Oh, crazy.
And so you have a bunch of Marines that start jumping into the river and just floating downstream. And I'm standing there looking around, having no idea what's going on. And I'm like, what is going on right now? And so all of a sudden these MPs run at me, and I'm 6'2", like a big white guy. And I'm like, I'm not in the army at this, not in the military at this point in my life. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not a part of this. And so it's just, oh God, that was a funny time.
That's funny.
Yeah. Good time. So, thankfully, I'm just I can show you my passport.
It's a good thing you didn't end up in military prison, probably.
Well, the funny thing, I ended up joining the army later in my life. But yeah, it's just funny.
Yeah.
But that was amusing though. But the Iwakuni River Festival was
You
pretty
need to
cool.
make a comeback. You need to bring smoke with you. You gotta bring that motherfucker Bob.
Oh God, I
don't know.
I would.
Get me deported.
I would love to go back to Japan. I need to find the time to go back.
I think if you want to come, might be best right when all this the flights start coming.
Mm-hmm.
But they return to normal, because apparently they're really cheap. And the only reason I know this is because I saw that somebody mentioned something about the Metal Jesus, and he's like, "Oh, I've been looking into flights, and they're like $500 when I want to go."
Oh shit! Really?
Oh shit! Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my last flight
it's a
back
big
from
box
Brazil
PC.
was the cheapest it ever was.
Yeah. Just because nobody's flying, or
I don't know.
Yeah,
It was
bro.
gas prices or something, because that was before this whole thing
okay.
even started. So,
God,
Vanessa, she works at Delta, I think. She could fill us in.
Oh, she gotta hook you up too. Maybe if you're nice
Yeah, Compass.
enough. Well, if you guys did come and visit Sendai, I don't have much space, but I have an extra futon.
But once the
And I
DOD,
could,
yes, sir. Once the DOD travel restrictions get lifted, I will let you know.
oh yeah.
I have so I used to watch this Bicycling Around Japan, I think it's called, a documentary series that's on some Japanese TV station. I have like 50 episodes of that to catch up on one day. It's like they have a different person bicycling in some random part of Japan, going through places. It's actually, I remember liking it, but I haven't watched that for probably a year.
I maybe a year or two ago, I bought one of those Sony action cams, and I've been meaning to do like pickups videos where like I go through all these little like rural areas and mountains and fucking like little highways and shit, and go to like these game stores I usually go to on my bike. And I did some test footage like a month ago in the park, and I was like, oh, this looks pretty good. I'm just afraid that when I'm in the store, I don't want people like saying like, you can't record or like whatever, or like I tilt my head a lot when I'm looking at shit. Like, I don't want to have these weird fucking oblique angles, but I'll have to figure something out. But
they have I got a what are those called? The underwater cameras, GoPro 4 or something a few years ago.
Okay.
I saw they make like vests you can wear to mount it on.
yeah,
You get something like that.
I've been looking into it for the Sony one, but the thing is that the GoPro is flat, right? Kind of like relatively flat. The Sony Action Cam is kind of like a what would you say? It's flat, but the fucking lens is on one of the ends, so it's actually not flat. So if I have like,
see what you're saying.
if I have
It's
a vest,
longer.
it looks like an alien fucking xenomorph baby is bursting out of my chest, and this looks fucking strange, right? But at the end of the day, I guess I don't really give a fuck, because I've done a lot of weird box shots where people are just like, what the fuck is this motherfucker doing? why are you filming boxes in front of a pachinko parlor? So, might get me in trouble.
Yeah.
Vanessa needs
I
to do
used my
some things
GoPro
to
exactly
shopping.
once
Too.
ever.
Oh yeah, what for?
Like the day I got it, I went snorkeling with it. That was it. I got it to go to which convention? Another video game con. I got that GoPro and then like a Tascam digital audio recorder, and my plan was like to do videos when I got there. Then I didn't end up using either one of them. And then even when I gave my presentation, I forgot to even take the Tascam, and I almost wanted to like end it all.
Oh no.
So my video, like I have this one about like an hour-long FPGA presentation I gave there, and the audio is just horrible because it's like you're hearing it through the speakers on the camera. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that wasn't the plan.
The plan was grandiose.
Yeah, the plan would have been great. It's gonna be great. Would have looked pro.
You should once things like get normal and settle down, you should see about trying to apply for doing like some sort of a panel for yourself in Portland, because honestly they'd let anybody do those fucking panels.
Yeah, especially if you can add something as value.
Yeah.
I could get like FPGA stick.
No, that would actually probably be something to pick up pretty quickly.
Was it Portland that Bob and Lon did their FPGA thing last year, or was that a different con? I can't remember. I think it was.
I don't. Well, Bob did a video quality one, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, or RGB gaming or something like that.
He did that panel that he was like kind of doing a lot of the cons by himself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where he retired it, is at Portland. But yeah, I don't know if I was high. No, I wasn't high. I think
you were. You were doing a lot.
I
of
was
edibles.
out of it.
You were doing a lot of edibles.
Did I though? Not at Portland.
Well, like the first year.
The first time.
First year, yeah. First year you were doing a lot. But second year, maybe not so much.
Like
but yeah.
Half a chocolate bar that Yahel gave me.
I don't know.
Before my panel.
Well, I mean,
was
like,
what the hell am I doing on a
I
panel?
don't, well, for me, like, then again, like the second year was kind of. So I went out with my wife and daughter, and my wife like totaled the car while I was there, and I'm like, oh god. So I was really distracted the entire time I was there at Portland this last round.
That's rough.
And so I told my wife, I'm like, so I'm going to go to Portland without you next year because you destroyed the car. So
I was half relieved when all these conventions got canceled this year because I had told a bunch of people that I was like, oh yeah, I should go to that. But then I never actually made any plans or got tickets or anything. So I feel like I'm let off the hook this year.
Well, I know for my particular friend group, I know we had like a Stika, who's a Portuguese retro gamer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who was planning to come out for Portland. And because of the whole lockdown, he couldn't come out, but he had bought tickets and all that. So that was kind of a bummer that didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if we can play our cards right, I feel like next year will be pretty good.
It'll probably be, when they all come back, they'll be huge. Everybody will be wanting to go.
Back. Well, if Portland's still around, I don't know. We might be burning down the city.
Okay.
But,
Yeah.
God Lord, right? But I was thinking like it would be cool to do a panel with like a bunch of people, right? And just saying like interesting or obscure stories in gaming from around the world. And that way you could have all these different people with perspectives. Like if I go there, even though I'm a fake Japanese person, that's fine. I can still talk about it. And Stika, he could talk about Portugal, Europe, or Brazil. He's a fake Brazilian.
That'd be interesting.
Also, I'm loving this game, by the way.
Oh, sorry. I'm just hammered enough that Quake 3 is really hard on a Dreamcast controller. Because
Are you using the face buttons to move?
Yeah, I'm using. So your face buttons are your left, right, forward, and back, and then your left analog stick is the aiming. So it's kind of like backwards to just about anything you are familiar with, which makes it.
Yeah, going back to games before two sticks messes with my head.
Yeah, it really. This is really fun to do. Like I have a bunch of army buddies. I'll go and we'll do like just random game nights. And I love bringing the Dreamcast and doing 4-player Quake, because it just literally just gives people like just aneurysms while they're trying to like play the control scheme.
What was I playing? Oh, during that N64 disaster stream I was doing, Ian, that you couldn't join me on.
Oh,
sadly.
yeah.
Actually, better for you.
Well, I learned a really interesting thing about Japanese law, which I thought was the most amusing thing.
Yeah, right.
And that would be if you fill out paperwork, your wife can't divorce you, which I thought was really funny. And tragic in the same particular stream, but yeah.
Stream, but no, I was playing Turok. Turok had the same controller, right, with like C buttons.
Yeah.
And then so weird. And then also for Dreamcast, Outrigger.
Outrigger, yeah, Outrigger. So Outrigger's a great game if you use the mouse and keyboard, but if you use the controller, it is the worst.
That game in Japan came with the mouse, which is kind of cool, right?
But it didn't come with a keyboard, though?
And then the Dreamcast died. Oh. Okay.
Well, I thought the Dreamcast didn't technically die in Japan until like 2004. I thought.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there were... Sorry.
Way after the Dreamcast was done, I found a Dreamcast keyboard at a garage sale, and I just left it. My buddy was big into... He was from my dorm with me. He was big into Dreamcast still. I just left it on his doorstep, and he knew it was from me, because he wasn't home at the time. That was before cell phones, I think.
This is a really weird horror film with Dreamcast keyboards just ended up on the doorsteps.
I've used keyboard adapter and IBM Model F AT for Typing of the Dead, and that's a godlike experience on the Dreamcast. With a mechanical keyboard. You feel like it's a machine gun or something. It's crazy cool. You gotta try it.
Wait, Oh, how's it going, man? But yeah, God, I freaking love drinking and just playing Typing of the Dead. That's a really good time. I should have brought down my keyboard for that, but yeah.
I still have like a co-op gameplay video that I was going to use for a video of mine that was supposed to come out like a year or two ago. It's a very common trend of mine. But I brought a friend over and we played a Japanese version of House of the Dead 2, or not, Typing of the Dead. And I was gonna do a video about like games that help you study Japanese and like talk about House of the Dead 2 or Typing of the Dead a little bit. Yeah. And then, but I also have like Evangelion typing games on Dreamcast, and I have both like limited edition sets, which are stupid games. But I also have quote unquote complete gameplay videos of those. I didn't ever fucking do the video, so it's kind of a shame. Now that I rewatched Evangelion a couple months ago, I might want to actually do that video because it's like, oh, I remember actually why I like this series.
Yeah,
I forgot. I haven't seen it since like 1998. So, also, I think there's something in the chat that I wanted to. Okay, I'll trigger with keyboard and mouse. What the fuck was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Vanessa mentioned going to a smoke shop with Bob and you smoke, but I was fucking hungover. I was probably.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't
okay,
there.
you weren't there either. Okay.
No, I've never
I
been.
felt so embarrassed because I remember I met you and like Dan and some other folks were sitting down, and I was like, oh, it's fine, great. I was so tired, and then as soon as I had like 1 or 2 beers, I was gone. And then the next day, I was like 12, like this retro create thing just started, and I'm like, fuck, what the hell why did I do this? Why did I do this to myself? And so I missed out a lot on that day, and I had to like leave pretty soon, so embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, we were all expecting it to be like the trial run for something every year or something, I think.
Yeah. Thanks.
Should be cool.
Thanks to this year being a piece of shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
We'll have to wait till next year. But actually, it's probably good, right? Because you get more time to kind of just think about it. And...
Sorry,
That's all we have.
I just want to add something about the Dreamcast take on Quake 3 controls. Just literally, my brain will break halfway through a maneuver where like the left trigger is jump, and then my brain for some reason will be like, no, jump is A, and so I do that. Then I just back up, and I'm like, wait a second, that's not.
Go into Halo mode.
Yeah, it's like I go to Halo, and I'm like, I really wish the Dreamcast had a second analog stick, and this would have been just the best console imaginable for FPSs.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome. Also, Cameron says, how's it going?
Hey, Cameron, how you
Loves
doing,
Quake
man?
3 Arena, and also says you need a Dream Pie, play it online.
Oh,
Well,
I need to get one of
Somebody
those.
telling you to get a Raspberry Pi instead of fucking smoke.
Well, in order to get that to play online, well, because what you have to have the.
People always tell me to get a Pi, but they don't realize I have one.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You
Like
probably,
a full
probably
Pi
have all of
setup.
them.
I've got a Pi, I've got RetroArch on everything, and yet people still tell me to get it. Well, I got it. I have it.
You're like,
It's right
God,
here.
do you not know who I am? I have all this stuff.
I did YouTube's first video on RetroArch Run-Ahead mode. Like, I was there. I just...
Yeah, whatever.
It's not what I sell
Whatever,
anymore.
man. Yeah, if you had a Pi, you wouldn't be talking all this Mr. bullshit.
People are always telling me about RetroArch Run-Ahead mode. I'm like, oh yeah, like when I did the official video for it. That one?
Yeah.
Tell me how that works.
Here's the thing about the internet that I don't like, and this is why I want to quit Twitter. I've been actually thinking about it seriously, just like leaving. Everybody's a fucking expert on everything when they're not. That's the thing I hate about the internet the most. I don't care about the bickering because people bicker all the time, but the expert thing just drives me crazy.
That's a male thing.
And maybe I see a lot of chicks too. I don't know, man. Everybody.
I'm gonna get these. You'd probably get this on your channel too, like page-long explanations of technical things.
And I'm not
no
saying this as an
punctuation.
insult. This is a
Well,
popular insult, but a lot of folks are just kind of autistic or something, or on a spectrum, and they can't really help it. So I don't get mad at people when they do the page-long thing.
I don't care if they're not rude. That's my thing. Yeah. As long as they're not like
but most people who are like that are pretty
profanity
rude.
ridden. Yeah.
Profanity ridden is just like it could be funny or it could be just like Jesus Christ.
So I've had that in mind as well. Like I've had guys where like basically one of my videos I did this whole like random thing where I was like trying to explain the console war in just the most simplified manner possible. And they're just like, no, this is completely untrue. And I'm like, well, even what you said is inaccurate. So I'm like, I'm not even going to respond. Just because I'm like...
That's how history works, you know? Everybody has their own individual
well, yeah,
histories.
there's always that interpretation that some people have where you're like, well, that's still not accurate because you're not taking into account a number of things. But so I've had a couple of those over the course of time where I'm like, yeah.
Vanessa asked if you need a Dream Pie if you have a LAN adapter.
For the LAN, I don't think for the LAN, I don't think you do actually. But I think you might need the Dream Pie just for connecting to the servers that are still up.
Yeah.
I could be wrong though. I could be very.
I saw
wrong.
a video years ago on like connecting Dreamcast Phantasy Star Online to like servers, and I think you needed the Dream, or you needed a Raspberry Pi. I don't know if it was specifically the Dream Pi.
I remember looking into this. I don't remember how it works though.
Yeah, I knew the DreamPie was for connecting the modem adapter, but it would basically do a lot of the in between for talking to the servers and all that. But I thought if you had a LAN adapter, you might be able to bypass that, but I could be wrong. There's probably some external thing you'd have to do.
I'm not sure. Did you guys play? I mean, I never played Dreamcast Online when it was.
I had a buddy who, but
I didn't even know it was
he only ever
I
played.
saw the modem on it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know you could actually do anything with it.
Yeah, I had a buddy. He only ever played 2K1 on it. Like I only ever watched him play like the football game online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never like played the Quake 3 or anything.
Okay. I guess we have some answers here.
But it was
chat.
Hey, what's up, man?
Or some answers.
Oh, answer. I think it's Zero Mancer. Sorry.
Zero Mancer. No, sorry, no, that's Zero Mancer. But yeah, talking about like just the dial-up stuff you need the DreamPie for, obviously, and then like Vanessa saying, can't you just use the Game Shark or Code Breakers? And she remembers using Code Breakers to get to a private PSO server. I like GameCube. I think Vanessa was also, she left a comment on this stream that I deleted with the GameCube stream, but I gotta fucking set up a GameCube PSO thing and get some people to play with that. That'd be so fun. I fucking love that game. It's kind of a piece of shit though.
I know that people who like this game really like it. I've just never played it. I saw the no, I've never played any Phantasy Stars at all.
really?
Not even the 2D ones or 3D.
It's really?
Not on
Let
purpose.
me switch to an
Original
easier
ones,
game.
okay.
One sec.
No,
I
never saw. The
recommend,
only Master System I saw was my stepbrother's, and he only had like 2 games, Rampage and Choplifter.
I will tell you, if you want to play Phantasy Star 1 and you want to play it on like real hardware or whatever, you should play any of those the first 4 games on the PS2. There's a Sega Ages 2500. It's not going to cost you 2,500 yen anymore, but those versions were one of the M2 ports.
Oh, okay.
And they included all these like things where like you can double your experience in gold, and it actually has the English ROMs as well. So you could play the games in English, and also just it feels like you're playing a real game. I don't know. For me, like emulation, I always feel like there's something about it where I feel like, oh, I know I'm playing this on my computer. There's something different to feel.
Oh yeah.
Those
That's how
games
I always
feel
was.
Yeah.
I'm a real hardware
my
guy
first
right up
emulator,
until
though.
Mister.
Oh yeah.
Just all
That Mister
just
baby.
real hardware for everything, and
That
Mister
big,
kind of
that
changed.
big Mister money will change a man.
Yeah, he got a big kickback.
Those kickbacks, man. Yeah, I'll call you Mister. The other one too. Good choice. No, I downloaded my first emulators the other day because I had to record some stuff for my video. I can't get Aliens arcade footage any other way except for stealing, which I don't
Well, I've
like
got
to
that
do.
PCB right here.
Oh fuck yeah, Konami Aliens.
I collect Konami games. I have basically everything
Dude,
except for Simpsons.
All right, we should next time I should not be drunk and we should have a chat because Konami's my favorite, bro.
Nice.
I was
I've
never
been
part of fuck Konami. I was kind of like, you know what, screw Konami a little bit, but I can never say fuck Konami. They're the greatest. Even though they treated their employees like shit, they still made the greatest games, you know.
Yeah, I love
Third
that
party.
little stint of arcade games they had in the 90s. And so I've got like
So good.
basically everything. The only one I missed was Simpsons, and like I skipped it just because I liked the Xbox Live Arcade version of it. It was fine for me. Like
I had
fine
the
enough
PS2.
to not spend $500 on it, basically.
Yeah. I remember there used to be a little like laundromat in my neighborhood that had the Simpsons arcade game, and I always thought back then, this is gonna be crazy. But I'm gonna go in there and offer them $200 for their arcade. And back then that would have been like a big offer because like nobody was really collecting stuff like that back then, and I'm sure nobody was really buying that. It was kind of beat up or whatever. But nowadays they're like, fuck yeah, I'd buy that arcade cabinet for $200. I give you $500. I give you $800 for that arcade cabinet. But back then I was like, $200 is a lot of money. This is like 2003 probably.
Well,
I remember
that was a
when
lot back then.
Simpsons was like $150, $200 game, and I thought I passed up a bunch of deals on it back when I first got into collecting, and nowadays it's obscene. Same with Turtles. I mean, I didn't pay much for. I have 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 PCBs. I bought them cheap, and I got Turtles 2. It was like just over $100, and I thought that was a lot back then. Nowadays, the
Nowadays,
Konami
it's like-
games are
We know
like worth their weight in gold.
So what's interesting about
X-Men was really cheap when I got it. Had to fix it, but
So what's interesting about Idaho is there's this like multimillionaire guy who opened up a retro arcade, and so you can basically go there and just do 25-cent plays.
oh, nice.
And so he has like a large collection of he has the Turtles in Time, Simpsons arcade, and then the X-Men. Like what's the large variant 2 monitor of that one?
yeah, there's a 6-player version.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
yeah. He has a 6-player one set up there
Two
as
double
well.
monitor. Oh, that's a cool setup.
Yeah, so it used to be pretty interesting.
I've only
'cause it was-
seen that once or twice.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So it used to be you could just go there and just walk in and just pay, like, give them money and just pay 25 cents plays. But like I guess people were like fucking stuff up, so you had to like buy memberships to like the club because it was basically it was just this multimillionaire guy who was just sharing his collection with people.
That's so much more ideal to actually owning the PCBs, I have to say.
Yeah. So that was like I feel like very spoiled that this place exists here so close by.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I find myself wondering how that business is doing with the pandemic and all that. But I'm like, man.
Oh, he's independently wealthy.
Yeah, and I know he's
Probably didn't
a
need the
multi.
quarters anyways.
Yeah, he's a multimillionaire, so it's not like an issue for him. But I guess we'll see how this pans out after.
Yeah, speaking of aliens, there's someone working on a Konami core for Mr. Jimmy.
Oh.
Which
Oh,
would
really?
be, and he's basically reverse engineering aliens as the base for it.
Oh, okay.
And so once he has, and I mean, he's been doing it for a year now, like hardcore, dissecting the actual PCB and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be a really cool core. That's going to fill in my wish to finally have a good Simpsons, I think, one day. Down the line.
Without getting the real thing.
Yeah, well, the train has already left the station on it. It's
God, yeah.
Unless
There
don't
are
know
a
where
few
you'll find
arcade
something
boards, even though I couldn't play them because I don't really have I don't have the space, nor do I have the means to really play them unless I really just wanted to buy one thing a month and be like, oh, cup noodles for the rest of the month. But like,
Yeah.
there's a few arcade boards that I really want. One of them is Mr. Goemon. That's also a Konami game,
Ooh,
and
that'd
I've seen it for like $1,000, and I'm like, I can't justify that shit.
Yeah.
But also, Legend of Valkyrie is one of the ones that I'd like, and that can go for like 2,000 plus. And I just remember like, not even like that long ago, when a lot of these things were still like in the, a couple hundred, 300,
Yeah.
and it just seemed so insane. Maybe like
I bought a lot
7,
of
8 years ago.
boards for the price of shipping, more or less. I buy them broken or untested though, and then I fix them. That's why I've accumulated so many.
Nice. Well,
Because if you buy them working, it's a rich man's sport, basically,
sure.
at this point.
this
Cave
one is like
collectors.
it's totally yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of like cave shmups and everything, but I could never.
Yeah.
I think there was an opportunity I could get like Death Smiles or something, like an original one of those, and it wasn't that expensive.
I
was like,
always
what
thought
the fuck
360. I told myself 360 was fine. Like I liked it for all those cave games, but it would. I mean, like there's a Cave Core game, Cave Generation 1. They're making Dodonpachi for Mister, and that would be really cool. Another one that you could never own really, unless you're rich.
Yeah,
Did
there was
you like those 360 games? There were several. Death Smiles 2.
Death Smiles 1,
Mushihime-sama.
2X is like one of my favorites, but yeah, Mushihime-sama 1 and 2 of Futari or whatever. I love Mushihime so much that when Avalanche Jared came in Tokyo, we bought matching Mushihime-sama's shirts, and
Oh,
we're running
nice.
around like fucking idiots. And then I actually had to meet the guy who did XR Arcadia that day, and I was like, fuck,
Oh,
I really
wow.
kind of want to change my shirt because I feel embarrassed wearing this, but he saw that shirt and he was like, he liked it. So I was like, oh, of course he would. He's an arcade fan.
Yeah.
But
Is
it's
that
just,
system out now? I've seen. I thought
X
I've seen-
Arcadia has been around in Japan for like a year and a half, 2 years now. But apparently he was talking to like Dave and Buster's and Chuck E. Cheese, like maybe
Oh,
like
wow.
earlier in this year or maybe like the end of last year. And they are really interested in it, and they want like certain games though for it
Mhm.
that will be more, I guess, more of a match with the American market.
Yeah.
So he was talking about getting these games developed, and he told me a bunch of stuff that I probably shouldn't mention here in public, even though it's like we're all just here doing our thing. But it was kind of like, oh, that sounds so amazing. I can't wait. But one of the things that
sound like an
sucks
awesome system.
yeah, there are some things that suck though, because I know he's the guy is friends with like the CEO of Sega, right? But they had a falling out recently because of like, what is that, Sega Fog
the
Gaming?
fog gaming, yeah.
Yeah, so
What is that?
Sega.
Bitcoin mining for arcade rigs.
Bitcoin mining. They're trying to. That's the thing about X Arcadia too.
Sega Stadia,
They're trying to
basically, but for
change-
arcade games.
Yeah. It's like people want to bring back arcades, and the arcade model right now, at least in Japan, is awful. Where arcade owners, like basically arcade store owners, don't really get paid anything. Like they have to give like half or so of like every coin put in their machine to the company, and then they have to pay for network subscriptions, and they have to do all this crazy stuff. So you barely get paid any money. So everybody's trying to find an alternate way to kind of kill this business model. And I guess because Sega has their own idea, they pulled all their projects for X Arcadia, which is unfortunate because there were some really cool things being developed for it, or at least in the very beginning parts, with original people who were involved with the original IPs. But
well, that was really funny. Was like there was a brief moment when I saw like Sega / Game Changer article, something like that. I'm like, it's not going to be a console, but I wish it was a console.
Yeah.
I think just arcades are they're just kind of gone,
The X Arcadia games, every time I read about one, I was like, man, I wish that had a home port. They were like, didn't they like do a new Mr. Driller for it? Am I thinking of the right one?
There might be. I'm
I
sure
think
there
they
they had a lot of
licensed
really
a brand new
big names.
Mr. Driller game.
Yeah, there were a lot of like really cool. Some of them are just ports of like other things, or like with exclusive features to X Arcadia. But they did get like a lot of the major publishers on board early on, and like the dude who's like the CEO of that, he's a really interesting history, but he's not a Japanese guy, but he had to kind of learn how to maneuver in that kind of world. It seems like he's done a really good job, in my opinion. So
That looks cool. It's not. Is it in the U.S. at all?
I don't think it's out yet, but I may be wrong. But apparently this year, maybe because of the whole COVID thing, I talked to the guy in February last time. Things were kind of just starting to ramp up. But he was actually, he said that his manufacturing for the X Arcadia wasn't affected by the China thing, at least, because all those things are being made in America for the U.S. market, somewhere probably in the Midwest, I believe. So, but who knows? Because America got hit so hard, that probably affected it pretty big. So we'll see. But I gotta catch up on this chat real quick though.
Oh yeah, I've been completely ignoring it.
I've been typing things up. Yeah, it's hard to pay attention when you play in the game. That's one thing I noticed when doing streams. But
actually, I think I'm gonna go ahead and probably end this. It's about 2 a.m. my time, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and probably end the stream here in just about a minute. Oh, Rex Wharton, how you doing, man?
Oh, he just came in.
Yeah. But I definitely want to thank you guys for dropping by and hanging out as long as you have. Appreciate you, Smoke, for dropping in and kind of chit-chatting for a while.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure.
fun.
Yeah, thanks for dropping in. And Jimmy, always a pleasure having you as well.
You don't have to lie, but
that's not true. But all right. But definitely want to thank you guys. If you guys are not aware of who Smoke Monster is, a fantastic Mr. FPGA
type your thing in the
console review. Yeah, definitely check out his channel. Wouldn't mind putting your stuff in the thing. But I guess it's kind of based on how YouTube has changed the console, I guess, chat concept in terms of how you can click and look at stuff. But Smoke Monster, fantastic channel. And also, if you're not aware of who Jimmy Hoppa is, go and check him out. I would say a staple of the retro gaming community.
Call your local authorities.
But yeah, you guys have a fantastic day, evening, night, or whatever it is you're doing. All right, bye.
All right.
All right, take it easy, everybody. Bye.
Good night.
There we go.